Right. Welcome to the Indie Corner After Dark. We're not only talking about all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm famous.
I'm Rebecca.
And today people are back at it again with another episode of Indie Corner After Dark, episode 9 to be exact. And we're going back to the original roots of Indie Corner After Dark. We're not gonna we're thinking about doing one single review for this one, but we're gonna do a whole new segment this time, like we did with the first episode. So we're not only gonna talk about Black Adam, which is a new DC movie that came out I think around last week, somewhere around that time. We'll also be talking about we're reviewing She-Hulk because we were owed a She-Hulk review because it ended I think almost 2 weeks ago or last week, and also talking about some other topics that have been happening around in comic book world and pop culture world. So yeah, thanks Seamus and Rebecca for being here with me. We appreciate it. And Seamus with this Luffy. Come on, you gotta do a spin, man. You gotta do a spin.
Oh, you want me to get up and do the whole fit?
Yeah, come on, man. Look at that. Look at that shit. Look at
I got the jorts too.
Oh shit!
I'm wearing the jorts.
Committing. Love
I got these jorts in New York.
All right, guys. So yeah, we'll just get to our first topic. So the first topic that we're going to be talking about today is that so people don't know, I think since 2019 there was a Green Lantern show that was announced supposed to be on HBO Max. They had a showrunner. Greg Berlanti was going to produce it. They even had some people cast for it. I think they were going to have Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner on it. I could be wrong. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But the recent news that came out this week was that the showrunner left and that the entire show is going to be completely rewritten from the ground up. They're starting back from square one because I guess it was trash. I don't know what the deal is. But the main difference is that the showrunner, I think his name is Sean. I think it's I gotta look it up real quick. But the showrunner left, and now they're gonna be reworking the script, reworking everything, the whole story, and now it's gonna be more focused on instead of Hal Jordan and Guy Gardner, they're gonna be focused more on my boy, my guy, Phil Lamar, aka John Stewart. That's basically the whole news with this topic. What are your thoughts, Seamus or Rebecca? Who wants to start off?
I like it. I don't mind not seeing Hal Jordan. I mean, I like Hal Jordan, but I'm not like. I would say I'm more of a. If I were to pick out of all of them, I'm more of a Kyle Rayner guy.
Yeah.
Want this to be more of a Kyle Rayner show than a John Stewart show, but I like John Stewart. He's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
They should have just done a full field shift, make it all about Guy Gardner.
It's terrible.
That would have. No, Declan, I'm sorry. No.
If you make it, you do full, because I feel like if you do full Guy Gardner, it'd end up just being like Peacemaker again.
No.
Well, yeah, because then you redeem the guy who's like a prick.
But he's a hero at heart.
Yes, like Peacemaker.
But Guy Gardner doesn't kill.
But he might as well with how much everyone hates him.
No.
Everyone hates him like he killed their fucking kid.
Oh
it makes sense, you know what I mean?
God. Yeah, Rebecca, do you have anything you want to say about this news?
A little bit. I honestly completely forgot the show was happening. I think it's kind of strange that they're reworking everything.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought, especially with the state of HBO Max, they would have just outright canceled something versus even trying to salvage something here. Even though it sounds like they're starting completely from scratch. So I wouldn't be surprised if after this announcement we just get radio silence for another year or two.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I think they should cast the guy who played John Diggle just to fuck with everyone again.
That would be hilarious.
Just be like, yeah. What do you mean? He was.
Yo,
you guys were right the whole time. He was John Stewart.
Shout out to those Arrowverse fans that were trying to get what's his name from actor's name. That actor is John Stewart in Arrowverse for ever. And it's
David Ramsey.
Yeah, David Ramsey. Yeah, bruh. But I have the article here from Hollywood Reporter. It says Seth Grahame-Smith has departed the drama after completing scripts for 8 episodes that were to focus on Guy Gardner and Alan Scott. So I guess not Hal Jordan. That's
shit.
Oh,
yeah.
I would have taken Alan Scott over. That would have been cool.
Yeah. That's so weird. Yeah. So it says HBO Max's long gestating Green Lantern TV series is changing gears. The blah 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 blah. Not really important. As a part of the creative overhaul, writer and showrunner Seth Grahame-Smith has departed the series after completing script for a full season of 8 episodes. So as to say, Grahame-Smith, who signed on as a writer and showrunner a year after Green Lantern was announced, chose to leave the project after weathering a number of regime changes at HBO Max, its parent company Warner Brothers Discovery, producers Warner Brothers Television, and now DC Comics. Yeah, so I guess there was some drama behind the scenes, and yeah, he decided to leave, and now they're just gonna work everything from the ground up, especially because like we've been hearing a lot of stuff in terms of when Zaslav, who's the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, has been axing shows left and right, and also is changing stuff around. This isn't a surprise to me because there was no headway after this has been announced. So it makes sense that they would, maybe want to just rework things around.
It'd probably just be easier to just have someone new come in than try to work with the old stuff.
Yeah. But I mean,
it also makes it sound like they wanted, like the studio wanted to have like a lot more control over it.
Maybe, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like if the studio were in control, they would be like, "Oh, wow, you're doing it about the 2 Green Lanterns that like the general public doesn't know nor care about."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like you have someone on the street, they're probably gonna not know who Alan Scott is.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but also I feel like if you have a script that's like more or less complete, like unless you really didn't like it, you wouldn't just throw it away either, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm fine with it, and also because Jon Stewart, I agree with Seamus because Kyle Rayner is also my favorite Green Lantern. So like, I would have preferred Kyle Rayner in this. But I mean, listen, Jon Stewart's still the boy, he's still the GOAT. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with him and like how he interacts with. Because like I remember like think about this years ago. Because it's been a while now at this point. Years ago, when like the Snyderverse was happening in its early stages, they announced a Green Lantern Corps movie. Then that never happened. Then they transitioned to have it be a show, and now this is never happening. So who knows? Maybe this might never happen. Like maybe it's just cursed. Like I don't know. But yeah, I mean, so that's basically just the news with that. I mean, question though, who would in your if y'all thoughts on this? Who would you cast as Jon Stewart in this show? If you have thoughts on it,
David Ramsey.
David Ramsey.
I feel like he'd be good as it, and it would be really funny. Like that's one of those picks that's like, it is a meme pick, but also like he's a really good actor, and he did kind of John Diggle was kind of just like Jon Stewart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think he was very underrated in terms of. Like,
I feel like
I was gonna say Tyrese Gibson at first, but I'm like, nah, this is a joke.
Tyrese.
Let's get Tyrese back.
Or Sinestro like, punches him, and he's like, "What more do you want from me?"
Tyrese, or get Common back.
Tyrese, Jon Stewart now is like an R&B singer just to get Tyrese's songs in the show.
Oh my god, he makes custom music for the show. Like, oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, or get him, get Common. Because like Common was supposed to be Green Lantern in like Justice League Mortal when that movie like never happened. He just started speaking in like rhyme and shit out of nowhere. Like no, but for real though, I heard some fan casting. Some people wanted like Sterling K. Brown. That would be really cool because I've been seeing like a lot of like
be good.
Yeah, I've been seeing like I think like Boss Logic or somebody made some art of Sterling K. Brown as Jon Stewart. I'm like, that kind of slaps. Like I'm kind of down for that. He's a great actor, so I mean, it works. And give him some work. He, because like, if you ever seen like Holto Artemis, like I think I get those vibes of him as like Jon Stewart from that movie. So yeah. So anything other thoughts before we move on to the next topic? It's pretty straightforward. It's a little appetizer for what's to come with this episode. All right. So moving on. So the next topic that we're going to talk about. So. Apparently, my dreams do come true. People, dreams do come true. Didn't think this would happen. So apparently, because Warner Bros. Discovery, they're trying to like reshuffle DC Studios. They were talking about having their own 10-year plan. In terms of like for the DC universe and films and for TV and live action and animation. And they also wanted a somewhat of a quote unquote Kevin Feige role. Wanted to hire someone in the Kevin Feige role to basically oversee everything. And one of the people I wanted for this was James Gunn, because again, loved the Suicide Squad. It's probably one of my favorite DC movies so far in a while. Loved Peacemaker. So that was even better that was even more of a concrete decision in my mind. But like, yeah, he's the guy because he knows his stuff. So apparently the comic gods of Vanderstar answered my prayers because James Gunn, along with Peter Safran, who's a famous producer, especially with a history of Warner Brothers, are co-leading DC Studios, and I am so excited for this. But yeah, so basically, I'll just read a little bit of the article here. So James Gunn will become the co-chairman and co-CEO of DC Studios along with Peter Safran starting November 1st, but in no way does the director view his job as that of a Marvel Studios rival. The filmmaker recently took it to social media to shut down any notion of a rivalry between the two comic book studios. Gunn even shared his admiration for Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige, who he has worked with on 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies and 1 Guardians television special. So so basically they're going to be overseeing DC projects in terms of live action, animation, television going forward. So yeah, Rebecca and Seamus, what are your thoughts on this wild news? I didn't see this coming. So
yeah, this is probably the best outcome you could ask for, honestly, in this situation.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a curveball because I would never would have guessed James Gunn would have done this or DC would have gone for this, but I think it's such a good pick, especially splitting it up. Yeah, James Gunn's leading creative, Peter Safran's leading financial. It's like a good way to do it because I feel like James Gunn knows what he's doing and he's such a fan of the comics that I have full faith in him creatively.
Yeah. So
leave the financials to someone who actually knows financials instead of trying to get James Gunn to think about funding. But yeah, I think this is the best thing I could ask for because I know he's gonna start. I think we're gonna start getting movie green lights that are actually nutty.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna get within the next 4 years. We're gonna get. I think he's gonna green light Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I think we're getting that.
I'd be down for that.
I feel like
I could see
a big fan, and he'd be like, "Yep, someone do this."
Well, I feel like anyone taking over the DC universe at this point, it's a big ask, considering they basically want you to soft reboot their entire franchise. I think James Gunn should say fuck it and just release Batgirl at this point.
That would be hilarious.
That would be funny.
If he was literally no, fuck the tax write-off. I'm doing it anyway.
It's already done. Just put it out.
Well, now it's
I don't care if it's bad.
It's illegal because they wrote it off as the whole thing as a tax write-off. So they legally cannot do it anymore.
They could just leak it.
They could leak it. That's what I'm saying.
Put it on the Internet Archive.
Yeah, put on Bflix or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bflix it, man. I said this when they announced that they erased it. I'm like, no, there's someone in the staff, someone that made a copy. There has to.
Yeah, even the staff has talked about. They've been we do kind of have the whole movie, but we can't ever show it.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. James Gunn would be the guy to do it too. But yeah,
he would be the guy to be fuck it, just show it. I don't care anymore.
Gotcha. Yeah, but here's my thoughts. James Gunn, I love him. As what Seamus said, I trust him 100% creatively because again, the Suicide Squad, I always said it's not it's a great comic book movie just because it felt like I was watching a Suicide Squad run come to life. It was that good. So I'm expecting a lot, and plus you can tell he knows his material. He's the reason why we know who Bloodsport is, know who Ratcatcher is, and made us care about a man named Polka Dot Man. Come on, if he could do that, I'm crazy to see what kind of out of box ideas he has for the rest of the DC universe. Especially now because we'll talk about Black Adam a little bit later, but the fact that now that Henry Cavill Superman's coming back, I wonder what his, because he's going to be overseeing it all. I want to see what his take on that's going to be like. Yeah, I'm expecting a lot more cohesive.
So what I heard is that he originally turned down doing Superman, and they're trying to get him to do it again.
Gotcha.
And he originally was Superman does not fit with my style of film.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I would.
That's why I turned it down. And then now apparently they're trying to get him to do it again, and I don't think he's gonna go for it, honestly. Because like I just feel like he knows better, which is why I trust him fully. Like running DC is because he knows better than to be like, yeah, I'll just do Superman with my style because it does not fit at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like with something like the Suicide Squad, that totally fit. That was completely. And like the fact that all the Suicide Squad characters were like pretty much mostly from the first original Suicide Squad run was like you could just tell this dude knows his shit and loves the shit. So that's why I'm like, we're gonna get shit that we love. That's just random. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna throw out and be like, you guys, let's just have an Etrigan movie. Fuck it.
Yeah, we're gonna get like the bottom of the barrel characters get like.
We're gonna get like Etrigan,
like Animal Man or some shit.
Animal Man series.
That would be sick if he did the Animal Man movie. I would love
Animal Man series by fucking Noah Hawley.
Yeah.
The guy who did Legion.
That'd be sick. Like,
oh,
like I'm expecting like a lot more creativity, a lot more hopefully cohesion with some of these films. I mean, I'm not saying that like all these movies have to like connect, but like maybe some form of like shared continuity.
With that being said,
yeah,
do you think we're gonna get another Justice League or big team up movie in the next like 5 years?
I don't know. Like maybe
I'm going to go on the safer side and say no. I think we'll get like main Justice League character movies, but I don't think we're going to get a Justice League movie for a bit. Because just the whole thing with the last Justice League movie was such a headache. It was such a long, arduous process of getting like the original out and then Zack Snyder's version out. And then you're just like, I feel like the studio at this point are like, hey, let's just do single movies and hope they do well, like the Batman.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, I feel like James Gunn wouldn't want to just like rehash the Justice League again. He'd probably use another team to maybe like be like the head of this.
We were much more likely to get a Justice Society movie than
I would love that. That would be really cool.
I feel like James Gunn would be more like, hey, why don't we just do Justice Society and then we'll do another Justice League? So that way, and you're like, all right. Do a Justice Society movie that takes place during World War II.
That'd be sick.
I would totally love that.
And I think I've been hearing stuff like ideas coming from like other YouTubers where like I know like James Gunn obviously with the Suicide Squad he loves Harley Quinn. I'm pitching this right here now. I think James Gunn would be I think he would do like a Gotham City Sirens movie, like a proper Gotham City Sirens with like Catwoman and Poison Ivy and Harley.
He was in this entire season of Harley Quinn.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he's in the show. He's directing a Thomas Wayne biopic with Billy Bob Thornton as the lead, and then Clayface accidentally kills Billy Bob Thornton, and he has to act as Billy Bob Thornton, acting as Thomas Wayne, with James Gunn directing the movie.
Wow, I gotta get back on Harley Quinn.
You gotta watch the new season's. It's such a good show. It's so good.
Yeah, and think about it. Yeah, like especially because going to more the animated side with Harley, because Harley Quinn's a big success. I would expect more creatively ambitious products like those, like with Harley Quinn more in terms of animation as well.
Yeah, I would love to see more animation in DC, even though some of the stories they choose to adapt aren't always best, in my opinion. They do pretty well with their animation, I would say. But I also think with HBO specifically, I don't know if they're going to want to produce animated stuff right now, or if they can get people to work on animated stuff for them.
Yeah.
I think Harley Quinn's like I feel like that's the best we're going to get. It's because like Harley Quinn is now a part of the Bat family, and they actually made me like care, and like it made sense, and I was like, whoa, because it wasn't like the comics where they're just like, oh, she's kind of a part of the Bat family now because like she makes money and like she's popular, whereas the Harley Quinn show was like, oh no, here's a story arc where she joins the Bat family because of the actions that she does and like the way she interacts with Bruce Wayne and Batman, and I'm like, wow. They did it. They made me actually like be like, oh, she does fit on the team.
That's crazy.
And it's so crazy that I'm actually like, because I'm so against that idea, but like that it was just so well done, which is and I hope we get more stuff like that from James Gunn, where he's like, because I feel like he's able to see creators and then how they like what project would be best for them. Because if he can recognize himself, like I'm not good for Superman, then I have trust that he can recognize like, oh, you would be good for this one. Stuff like that.
Gotcha. I'm curious though, because like there talks about now because James Gunn's the head and he has a very specific type of style and direction with what he sees for his films, and like now he's overseeing a lot of these films, and we still have like Shazam: Fear of the Gods coming out, and Aquaman 2 coming out still in the works, like, and so like there maybe he's talking about maybe some creators may either leave or maybe some may stick on, like James Wan or Dan Sandberg, because like they may not be able to fit like his vision. What do y'all think? What do you think about that in terms of that aspect?
I don't think, at least with James Wan and Dave Sandberg, they both seem like they would enjoy having a little more creative control.
Yeah.
And I feel like they would do some like weird shit. So I think
they would really be capable of doing some crazy shit that James Gunn would do, where he'd be like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm doing this crazy ass thing." And so I feel like at least with those two, they would definitely be like, "Oh hell yeah," because I feel like James Gunn would be like, give them free reign to do crazy, especially James Wan, to do some like crazy like underwater character designs and like shit, just to be like
Malignant, but for DC.
That'd be kind of
that. I remember when Malignant came out, everyone was like, "Oh, it's a Two-Face origin story."
Yeah.
Like, this would be the nuttiest Two-Face origin story I've ever seen in my life, if this were really one. And I'd be like, you know what? In the right universe, I feel like this would be amazing as a Two-Face origin story.
You know, I now just think about like crazy director choices. Fuck it, let's get Rob Zombie on a DC movie.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
Give me Rob Zombie's Justice League Dark. Give me that shit.
Also,
I don't care how cheesy or bad it is. I need to see it. I need to watch it with my eyes.
Also, we got a comment here real quick. Freaking Alec, man, our boy Alec. What's going on? He said, "What a comeback for James Gunn." Yeah, no, it honestly is. Like, after this man got practically canceled for a bit and then got on to DC and then got back on with Marvel, he has a really good he got a really good hand. It's crazy.
It's so funny how he like went from like, oh, he got fired, no projects, and then that somehow led to him now being head of DC Film.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Also, Alec, next time I gotta get you on a podcast, bro. So just remind me. I would have gotten you for this, but I thought I forgot I thought you were a busy guy. But yeah, man, it's crazy, and I'll bring this up, right? There's probably a closing question before maybe we move on to the next topic. But because Kevin Feige and James is now the new head of DC. Kevin Feige is and him have a really good relationship. Work relationship.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, you know where this is going. Do you? What do you? Because I've been hearing.
I think it's gonna. I think it's now like 10 times more likely to happen.
Yeah, because he was talking about like I would like to see a Marvel DC crossover.
I think it's like 10 times more.
And I don't know. I don't think Warner Brothers and Disney
actually happen.
You know, I think they would, because I think that I think there's way too much money there to be made, even with a stagnant DC universe where they don't even have like a coherent Justice League at the moment. I still think if you come out and you say, "Hey, we're doing JLA Avengers," and you're just like, and I feel like that would just like it's so big, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's so big that I feel like that alone could like bring back
that idea.
I think it would make a lot of money if it happened. I just think getting them to get to the point of agreeing to make it is like the part still there.
Well, look, Sony and Marvel are playing nice together. Even though they've got some like bumps in the road, they still have Spider-Man. So I feel like
that's true, but also like we can't even get another fucking comic crossover between them, you know?
That's true.
Yeah, the comics, that's a whole different.
That's a whole beast. That's a whole different game.
That's a whole different area.
Yeah.
That should be even easier though, because it can just be out of continuity.
I know, but they're so bitchy about it.
But yeah,
look, we barely even got like Spawn Batman 3. Okay, barely even got that. So like, I don't think. Comics are just so fucked right now. I don't.
Yeah, I think it's like
in 5 years, and I'm gonna cry.
If I think they could work, if they can find a way to like somehow be core to each other and make like an actual solid deal, and everybody can eat, I think it could work. And James Gunn would be the guy to push that a little bit.
I feel like it would be the only way to step up from this next like Marvel saga.
Yeah,
the only way to step up and have like a good ending while also like. You know what I mean? Like, because what after this, like after you do Kang and Secret Wars, like where do you go from there? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you can do Galactus, but like as again, you know what I mean? Or you could do Doom, but I feel like if you do Doom and it's JLA Avengers, then you're like, oh.
Yeah, like literally, like this is like the whole multiverse saga for Phase like 4, 5, and 6, and then like you could just do the Omniverse for the next one and just have
and then you're just like, well, here's that, and then
they
fucking combine, and then Doom's the main villain because Doom has to be the villain.
Doom has to be the main villain. But overall, man, I'm very looking forward to it. I think I said this when this was announced. I think they saved DC. I honestly think they saved DC because James Gunn is such a good pick and he's so creative and he loves the comics and respects them and knows what he's talking about. So
I think him being in charge has me somehow, Lord knows how, even more excited for the Batman universe. Because that shit, he's gonna just be like, do whatever you want, bro. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care anymore. Like
I will say this because I also read it in the article as well. Because Joker 2 is coming out, as well as like Matt Reeves, the Batman sequel is also in the development. Because Joker's under Warner Films, so like it's not under DC Studios, so that's completely separate. So that's gonna be untapped. And then the Batman is under DC Studios, but I also feel like James Gunn's gonna be like, no, just do whatever you want.
That's what I'm saying. Just have Matt Reeves just make his own universe and just be like, hey. Whatever, and then eventually, if you want to do a crossover, just be like, "Oh, it's Earth 2. Fuck it." Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so easy to just like make it fit while also keeping it separate if you want. Gotcha. And I feel like James Gunn's smart enough to be like, yeah.
Plus, in like 5 years, we might not even care about this anymore. You know?
Yeah, no, 5 years, the industry may collapse, and then we're all just gonna be like, you know what? We're out. We're gonna go watch anime.
Nobody's gonna watch this anymore. They're gonna be like, fine, fuck it, Avengers, JLA.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that is gonna end the industry. They finally do JLA Avengers on screen, and then they're like, well, we ran out of ideas. That's it. Goodbye, everyone. We made our money. And then they're just gonna be like, hey, we're not releasing any more movies. Like the next comic book movie you're gonna see is in about 40 years.
But I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I love James Gunn and DC, so I'm definitely gonna be down for it. Any other thoughts before we move on? Any other closing thoughts? Nada. All right. So the next thing we're gonna talk about people on the podcast. Let me just get this slide ready to go. So continue on with James Gunn. So a surprising trailer came out. I didn't expect it to come out, even though I didn't even know. I forgot this was coming out, to be honest with you. So the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, people. I forgot this was coming out. Like I honestly did. And the fact that this trailer dropped in like yesterday or 2 days ago. So this is basically gonna be the holiday special that comes out next month on Disney Plus. I have the trailer up here if y'all we're gonna check out the trailer. But any like what were your first impressions about it when you saw this trailer drop? Like I don't know if you all thought had any.
I've seen this trailer. I don't know if you have, so if we want to skip it, we can skip it too.
Oh, yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, yeah, we could just skip it. There's no problem. I don't have to watch it. But
I think it looks fun as fuck. I feel like this is gonna be like finally, and it's like it looks funny as fuck. Kevin Bacon in it like immediately makes it like the most incredible Marvel project I've ever seen. The fact that they're like, hey, we're gonna get Kevin Bacon as Star-Lord's present because he loves Footloose so much is such an incredible premise.
I died laughing.
It was so fucking funny.
Was like, because I completely forgot about that. I was like, wow, like they're really going in with like the ham. Like, let's have Drax and Mantis kidnap Kevin Bacon.
Is Kevin Bacon gonna still kill Darwin in this one too?
I don't. Christ. Oh my God! Don't stop reminding me of that, please.
He's on Twitter. Once a month, it comes up on Twitter where they're like, he killed the one black guy who couldn't die got killed. And I'm like, I know it's terrible, but like, it's really funny at this point because it's like a meme.
Yeah. But no, I thought this was. I always thought this was very surprised. I was very surprised by it because I didn't really care much about it when it was announced like 2 years ago. But seeing footage, I'm like, oh, this looks really fun. The fact that we're actually seeing the Guardians like on Earth, even though they were on Earth for like a brief time, like during Endgame at the end, but like we never actually got to see them like interact on Earth. So that's gonna be great. Drax and Mantis, I'm liking their little like wacky friendship that they're going on, trying to kidnap Kevin Bacon. That's gonna be really funny. It looks like also Groot got older. So
Groot looks kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, like I don't.
He's got like what the baby face on like the
yes, he's
adult
got the
body.
baby face, but the man body, and you're like, what?
Yeah, and his voice is a little deeper. So I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. And there are times where he looked like it was a guy in a suit for a little bit. I don't know if
it's like it. I think it's the only aspect of James Gunn's Guardians that I'm like not into. Like the whole idea that he's like, no, it's a new Groot. The old Groot died in the first one, and this is a new Groot. And I'm like, okay, but like he still says I am Groot and he still looks the same. So like you can say that, but like he's still always going to be the same Groot because you can't really change him that much. Cuz you know what I mean? Cuz like he's still going to say I am Groot and he's still going to look the same. But then you're going to come to me and say like no, he's completely different. And I'm just going to be like no, he's not. Like unless you start having him speak in full sentences, he's not. He's going to be the same Groot. And now he just looks weird and is the same Groot. And I'm like, I kind of like the original design. I wish he could just – because he's trying to make him different by changing the design a little bit. Yeah. And in the end, he just looks like really weird. So I'm not – it's literally – I love everything else about Guardians, but like it's the only aspect that I'm like, this is weird. I wish he could a little bit.
Yeah, I mean – yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I guess I gotta actually see it like when it comes out. But
I think it's probably gonna be pretty on par with the other Guardian stuff. It looks cute. You know, it looks like Guardians.
Yeah. And plus, they filmed it back to back, so like this. I hope maybe
it's gonna tie into 3. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a correlation at the end, maybe. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, no, I think it looks really fun. I mean, I don't really know. I don't have anything else to say about it, but it looks fun. I'm gonna check it out. I'm trying to look up when it actually. I think it's like I forget. I think it's like November. Like I think it's towards the end of November actually. But on Disney Plus. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Are you gonna say something, Seamus?
No, I was just saying I like it.
Gotcha. Yeah, but November 25th it comes out on Disney Plus. So yeah. So listen, man, James Gunn making more money. He's making more. He's getting more of a bag. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so moving on to the next one. So it's nope. There we go. We're gonna talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yes. I'm so excited for this. I want to watch the trailer for it because I just want to see Kang gets 30. That's all I want.
This is now a Jonathan Majors podcast.
Yeah.
We'll only be talking about Ant-Man, Quantumania, and Creed 3 for the next 3 months, 4 months. We're only going to be talking about how jacked he is and how he's going to murder everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm gonna put the trailer on and then we're gonna talk about it after. But yeah, so the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Scott, you're at ex-con. How are you an Avenger? That doesn't make sense. But everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing.
Thank you, Spider-Man.
People still need help, Dad. That's why we made this. Like a satellite for deep space, but quanta.
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off. Now!
It's a secret universe beneath ours. What are you so afraid of? There's something I never told you.
This place. It isn't what you think.
Oh, I find it inside of my future lies beyond the other big
I can get you home. and give you more time. If you help me.
30.
So, what's it gonna be? Batman.
30. There you go. All right, yeah. So coming out February 17th, 2023, which is 7 days after my birthday. So this is gonna be an after birthday present for me because I'm gonna watch Ken gets 30. But yeah. So people, what are your thoughts on this on this first trailer?
I think Kang looks cool.
Mhm.
I think he's gonna do a good job. The other Ant-Man movies, though, don't really do it for me. So I'm a little, I don't know if worried's the right word, but I'm a little like, oh, I got to sit through another Ant-Man movie for this.
Gotcha.
I think that's valid, but I think you got to remember it's the third solo movie, and every third solo movie is the best of the three, where this hero always gets absolutely fucked up. And I think this is going to happen again. Because you think of like Thor 3 or Captain America 3, where it was the third and like they just absolutely get put through the ringer. You know what I mean? Same with like No Way Home. Like I feel like this is going to be like a similar vibe where like it's going to be the first actual like Ant-Man movie that's like good and not just okay. I think this.
I don't know. I still think it's going to be mostly mid.
I think Kang is. They finally have a good villain in Kang, and I feel like that's going to actually like help it out a good bit. Because Jonathan Majors Kang, I think, is going to like carry the movie a little bit. Because it's always fun when like when you got Paul Rudd doing his Paul Rudd thing, which is always fun. But like when it's just him doing that, you at the end you're kind of like, all right, I don't really care because like, you know what I mean? It's always going to be jokey and stuff like that. But I feel like with Kang, at the end of this thing, it's going to be like really dramatic because like Kang's going to fuck Ant-Man up a little bit.
We're gonna break him.
I think it's a little interesting with this trailer, at least, that for the most part it's pretty serious, but it's also an Ant-Man movie, so you know it's going to try to be a comedy too.
Yeah.
I need to see what MODOK looks like too.
That's the I always forget he's
if it's like the leaks. If
it's like the leak, that's already going to be a strike against it.
That's gonna be an L. That's gonna be an L for me. Okay, I'll say this right. I'm in the minority with Ant-Man. I actually like Ant-Man 1 is one of my favorite Marvel solo films because I think it's so much fun. I loved how fun it was.
I think it's fun, but I just think like nothing really happens, and it's mostly just like a Paul Rudd comedy movie, which isn't bad. It's just like
it's fine.
I don't feel like I need to rewatch it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I saw it. I think the last time I rewatched it was in like 2016, and I was just like, you know what? I know what happens in this movie. I don't really feel like I need to rewatch it.
I always liked it. I mean, I'm a sucker for heist films, and it was just like it was a small like superhero heist film, and I thought it was a lot of fun, and that's why I like it a lot. Second one was a little meh. I was meh. I mean, it's not like I don't think it's trash. Everyone thinks it is. I just think it's meh. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about that right now. But you know, this trailer looks. I thought it was very serious because obviously like Kang is gonna be the villain for it. Listen, me and I already talked to me. I love Jonathan Majors, bro. Jonathan Majors is one of the best actors right now in Hollywood. I think phenomenal. And his version of Kang in this, because the thing is like I love the fact. This is how you know he's a good actor. Because like last time we saw him was as the He Who Remains in Loki, and that was and you compare that version of Kang to this one, and you can tell like it feels like this is another variant of Kang, not just like it feels like a completely different character, even though different yet similar character, which I love.
He Who Remains felt like he was playing Doctor Who a little bit.
Yeah, he was a little
a little jokey and a little like I know what's gonna happen, isn't that goofy? And then this one feels like he's like, Ant-Man, I'm going to rip out your spine if you don't do what I say. And then I'm going to shove it down your daughter's throat. And you're like, whoa. And you know what I mean? And like, I feel like I keep saying it, but like Creed 3 is helping out the MCU immensely and they don't even know it.
Exactly.
They got Jonathan Majors jacked for that movie.
Dude.
And I feel like that is gonna make Kang look even crazier when he's like just completely built and he looks like he's gonna run through.
Dude, man, listen.
He somehow looks even more built than Thanos looked, which is insane. Like, he's like so jacked.
Man, we all saw that Men's Health cover.
Oof. That was insane. He looked insane on that cover.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So the fact that like we got this like Kang as an Ant-Man villain is just kind of wild. Even though the thing is, it's very interesting with the whole quantum realm. And I'm gonna call it the microverse because that's what the fuck it is. It's the microverse. I love how like they're actually fleshing out like what it actually looks like, the actual like the people, the diaspora, like the locations. I think that's really cool. Also the fact that like there seems like Janet Van Dyne, who's played by Michelle Pfeiffer, is having more of having a lot more to do in this one because she literally like is telling like everyone, Cassie, being like, why would you do that? Like there's like we're gonna learn there's a history with her while she was there that we just don't know about, and then maybe that has a connection to Kang. So like that would be really cool.
Also, I know this is just a trailer, but it with like Cassie and Janet also being in it, it feels like the Wasp. I forget the actress's name.
Evangeline Lilly. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like, at least from this trailer, like she doesn't really have all that much to do, and they also gave her that like god awful haircut.
But I mean, listen, people talk about the haircut. I mean, it's bad, but like it's accurate.
It's a little goofy.
It's comics accurate. Like that's
you
what
could make it look better than that, though.
Yeah,
listen, you don't have to do comic accurate on everything.
That's
it looks a little goofy. Like, come on.
But yeah,
I did read that. I read the. I think it was pretty accurate. I read the plot leak for this, so because I didn't give a shit about. I'm not there for the plot. I'm there for Kang. But it sounds so. Reading the plot leak, it sounds interesting. Like I'm more interested after reading it and being like, oh, so that's what they're doing. That sounds a little more.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I'm a little more like optimistic about the movie because I'm like, oh, I know what happened.
Gotcha.
Because it does sound good. It sounds like I'm like, all right, this is already better than the last two. There's like actual emotional weight. They like actually make an attempt to like make Kang a fleshed out villain. So I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it when I see it. Also, I love the way the quantum realm looks.
It looks so cool.
It looks more like the Multiverse of Madness than the Multiverse of Madness.
Nah, it looks really cool. I love how I love how they're really like giving some really good world building with the quantum realm. I think it looks so cool. Also, Bill Murray's in this. I wonder who he's playing, but he's in it. So I think that's gonna be fun. I'm expecting some good comedy.
I think he's I heard who he was playing. It's not like a actual character. It's like a character like created just so Bill Murray could be in the movie.
That's so funny.
I think he's like the mayor of like the quantum realm or something goofy like that.
That's so so kind of like the Grandmaster and
it's kind of like Grandmaster and Thor, where it was like he shows up just for a second and it's like kind of goofy and then he goes away. Gotcha.
Okay, I'm kind of fine with that. Also Catherine Newton as Cassie. I think after seeing her in this, I think she fits the role pretty well. That have that youthful energy going. Even though I still feel a little bad for that other actress who played her before, but I mean, listen.
Yeah, that was kind of shitty.
Yeah, it's very shitty. But like, it's the name of the game in Hollywood, I guess. But I think she fits this role pretty well. And I'm looking forward to seeing like what her Cassie is like in this movie, as well as like in future MCU films when we get the Young Avengers together. But yeah, this movie was a surprise. I actually I had low bars. I had low expectations for this first trailer because I didn't think it was gonna be that good. But no, it's looking pretty nice.
They cast William Jackson Harper in this one.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that because I heard about that.
I don't know who's playing, but
so I don't know if Rebecca, have you heard about this rumor at all? That's going on? Okay,
it got officially announced, I think.
Did it get officially announced? Well, because I was hearing a rumor because John Campio was talking about it earlier today. The William Jackson Harper, people don't know he was in The Good Place. And also he was in Midsommar. Apparently that he was cast in this movie, and people are I doubt this is the case because it's not, but like people were theorizing, what if he's actually gonna be like Reed Richards? And
and they're gonna be like, oh, Daniel Richards. I think he's just gonna be a guy. I think he's gonna be like a guy in the quantum realm, like Bill Murray. Would I say that he would be a bad Reed Richards? No, I think he would be actually. I think he'd be a great Reed Richards, but I don't think they're gonna have.
They're gonna do that. Yeah,
we're not gonna see any of the Fantastic Four until the movie comes out. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're not gonna. Yeah,
they're gonna keep the. Reed Richards. No, we did not.
We did not.
Shut the hell up.
Declan, stop. You literally said they were gonna put Abomination on the Avengers. Cap, come on now.
No. I said Thunderbolts.
He said Thunderbolts.
No, he said Avengers.
I think they should put.
If I remember correctly, you thought it was going to be Dark Avengers instead of Thunderbolts.
I said it was going to be a mix of both. That's what I said.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, we're not talking about that. But no,
what was that? You're just telling me now for the first time.
Yeah, but yeah, no. For overall, I think this movie's gonna be really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing Paul Rudd doing Paul Rudd stuff. Cassie in this version of Cassie in this movie. Kang, like we're all going to see Kang. That's all we're really gonna hear from. But I also hope that like, hey, because like Kang is a multiversal villain, and like I want to see him show up in like almost every movie. Because like even the background, have him just show up in the background as like an extra. I don't care. Like it just to give like because Kang could be anywhere. So I hope they.
They could do it like they should do it like Thanos, because I feel like Kang's more of like how Thanos would just show up in random movies or like as an after credit scene. I feel like Kang fits that kind of style way more than Thanos did, because Kang can like time and space travel whenever.
That's true. I'm also curious of like why is there a version of Kang in this quantum realm? I don't know, because. Well, granted, like ever since Loki, I'm just expecting to see many variants of Kang, not just this.
I read the explanation, and it's kind of the crux of the movie.
Okay,
it makes sense, and I like it. It's like the part that I like the most is like the explanation of Kang, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Okay,
it makes sense.
All right, gotcha. All right, well, so is it thumbs up, thumbs down, people? I don't know what that.
I'm hyped for it.
All right, for it.
I'm reserving judgment.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, but you gotta give a little thumbs up for Kang. Come on.
Yeah.
Give a
little Jonathan Majors thumbs up. Come on. That's snubbed for Lovecraft.
I'm not worried about him. It's everything else I'm worried about.
Well, listen, we'll see when the movie comes out and if we see any more trailers for it. But yeah, so the next topic that we're gonna talk about, people. So obviously, I believe was it last week or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but She-Hulk, the Attorney at Law, the Disney Plus show that's been coming out for the past almost like month and a half, has finally wrapped. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a little bit of a spoiler review for She-Hulk. So yeah, I don't know if I should. I think I should start off. So with this show, man, I don't know, because I really, there's some things about it I really do like. That I love and I'll actually go through with my slides here because I have multiple slides. But I loved Tatiana Maslany I think is phenomenal. I love her as the character. I think she was well cast as the character. She was definitely one of the highlights of course. I do love the fact that this is more of like a slice of life type of show. This is a lot more different from a lot of the Marvel properties that we've gotten before, where people it's more plot driven that has like a focal point towards the end, but this is just basically more as a slice of life comedy that just focuses on Jen's life as a lawyer and also as a Hulk at the same time. I love that aspect of it. Stuff with Bruce, that was cool, even though Bruce was only there filming like on one episode, which is fine, and came back at the end. Stuff with Abomination, that was really cool. The lawyer stuff. Even the stuff like in her personal life and her dating life, that was really interesting because that's exactly what the comics do. Like I think what I love, like that I appreciate, like they understood that like She-Hulk isn't like a very high stakes, let's save the world type of character. Very low stakes, always very low stakes in her comics, always focusing on the balance of like her career and her personal life and like her superhero life. That's what mostly what those books come down to. So I'm happy that they really did that they really committed to that throughout the entire series. So yeah, I'll say that to start off. But I mean, I liked She-Hulk, but I'll go into what I didn't like in a bit. But yeah, what are your thoughts on She-Hulk, on what you liked and whatnot?
Seamus, do you want to go first or should I?
I'll go first. I'll just go quickly. I'll be quick with it. Yeah. I think it was my favorite Marvel TV show at the moment, mostly because it was written like a TV show instead of a 6-hour movie. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed a lot of the characters, and even side characters were at least fun and interesting. I thought that a lot of the storylines were really fun, and I don't know. I'm one of those people. I did like the ending a lot. Mm-hmm. I thought it was fun. It fit with the character. It like kind of like inverted the Marvel formula, which was a little fun to see. her, do that. I love Abomination. He's so good. I need more of him. It made me sad as I continued to watch this to see him like be so good and me be like, he's not in the Thunderbolts though. We don't know,
which hurts. That hurt the most.
So what I think is based on the end credit scene where Wong like takes him away. I think Wong's gonna do like a kind of Dark Avengers, where he's gonna do like a Defenders type team, where he has like Wong is like the Doctor Strange of the Defenders, Abomination's like the Hulk of the Defenders, and then they get Namor on the team, and then like a fun little thing like that where Wong creates this universe's Defenders. But I thought the best episode was the Daredevil episode.
Listen, we'll talk about Daredevil.
Not your bias or anything.
Not only because he was in it and he was so well written and it was such a good storyline for him to be in, but also because it was like the most solid episode I've seen of a Marvel television show, where it was an arc that went through and you got to follow it all the way through. And then when the episode ended, the arc ended and they had a little tease of like, oh, this is where it's going next episode. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's perfect. That's a perfect episode. I'm not watching like a weird Moon Knight version shit where it's like, yeah, I'm watching an hour of the movie that was stretched out to fit this episode rather than like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm watching an actual episode of TV. Gotcha. But I liked it. I liked all the cameos were really fucking funny. Mr. Immortal pulling up was hilarious.
Mr. Immortal. Okay, I had friends who some friends of mine who were talking about like, oh, like we don't like the man bashing.
They were so. People who were bitching about Mr. Immortal being like, well, actually, that means we can't get West Coast Avengers because he's supposed to be. And I'm like, who gives a shit about the West Coast Avengers?
Like, I'm just like, I thought Mr. Immortal was so much.
If you're waiting around for West Coast Avengers, just take the L at this point.
I think you gotta end it all.
Listen, we got Man Thing. All right, that's all you
what I'm saying. We got Man Thing. That's your limit. I'm not giving you West Coast Avengers with fucking Flat Stanley and Mr. Immortal, okay? I'm not doing it. It's too far, You can bitch about like, oh, wow, they're not doing Blade comic accurate. And I'll be like, yeah, that's a valid complaint. But as soon as you start going, oh, actually, Mr. Immortal isn't comic accurate, I'm going to be like, shut the fuck up. It's Mr. Immortal. He's not like this long storied character with all this history that you're ruining. He's Mr. Immortal. Is he fun? And he was done well and it was funny. So I'm okay with it.
We're going to get like a full-length essay in the comments from the one Mr. Immortal.
I know. There's always one who's like, actually, and you're like, dude, grow up, please. Like come on. You're the reason comics are dying because you're the guy who's like, actually, you got to read West Coast Avengers number 47. And you're like, fucking dude, come on. It's not that deep, bro. Just like, I don't know. I feel like this show brought out some of the bitchiest bitchers I've ever seen in my life toward the MCU.
Dude,
I have seen the most bitchy tweets at the show, and
I don't watch the clickbait, but the people who are like, "This is the worst show ever."
I know.
Get over yourself. You're gonna forget about the show
I'll say this
anyway.
Right. I'll say this right. I'll do another shameless plug. So I'm on another podcast called the Zion Network. We do on IG on Sunday.
He's cheating on us.
I'm not.
He's got a mistress.
I'm not. But like, so we have a segment that we do called the Phantom Zone, where we put a lot of bad shit that we don't want. We want to be done with. They've been putting She-Hulk in every single.
Really? You see, that's like.
I don't want to say that, but you said they also put Miss Marvel in there, and I'm starting to notice a pattern.
Yeah, I'm just like, guys, come on, it's not.
They work for intelligentsia, I think.
Maybe.
Dude, that was so fucking funny. Dude. When the guy was like, "Listen, I just wish they would get their own," and you're like, "So fucking." I've seen that commented. I've seen people be like. I wish he just earned it.
Yeah, so I'll say this, right? But just real quick with what I like with the show. Well, first off, I love Nikki and Pug. I love that friendship, that like co-worker friendship, as well as Renee. I love like the whole lawyer stuff.
Dude, the guy who played Pug was fucking.
He's great. The fact that, like, a lot of people talk about man bashing, but like no one mentioned Pug and how great of a character he is.
Wasn't the guy who played him the same guy who played Prometheus, Adrian Chase, and Arrow?
That's the thing.
And I didn't even recognize him because he was so like light and funny. And I was like, holy shit, that's the dude who like killed Arrow.
Yeah, people who've never seen, what was it? Like, it was that season 5, the redemption.
That was like 6. Yeah.
He's evil. Like, he's a dark, evil person in that.
He like fucking blew up half the team.
Yeah, it was.
And like he was like, remember that whole episode where he just tortured Green Arrow
for the whole episode.
It was just a whole episode where he's just beating the shit out of him.
And then you see him. I think the actor name is Josh Segura. And you see him in this.
He was so like happy and like and it was so funny. And I'm like, that's when I was like, this dude knows how to fucking act, because like I didn't even recognize him until I looked it up, and I was like, holy shit. That's where I like recognize this guy from.
He's such a sweetheart, and that's exactly who Pug is in the comics. Like, he's such a sweet guy, even though in the comics he has a crush on Jen, but they don't really do that in here. He's just like a supportive friend.
I kind of like that. Like, let him.
And also Nikki, I love Nikki in this. I love
Nikki was great.
Nikki's so funny. I thought she had a really cool chemistry with Balance with Tatiana Maslany. Like, I thought it was so good. But
I like the. Sorry to interrupt. I like the side characters. I do wish we got a little more of them, especially with Jen. Like when they're not on, I guess, like out like doing whatever, you know. I also think the show, like I said, I'm a little burnt out of Marvel at this point. Like, I'm watching, but I'm not like waiting at 3 a.m. every week for an episode to drop or anything like that. I think this show, I would have been a little more okay with it if it was a little less. Had a little less action and was a little more lawyery, you know, like still like keeping that comedic tone and everything like that, just being even more slice of life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that granted, I there wasn't a lot of action in here, which I thought was fine. Like, I wasn't really out here to get some Hulk fights every episode. And I would have liked a little bit more of that. But I will say this though. Actually, no, I'll save that for the end of what I didn't like. But no, I like this show. I'm gonna go to the next slide just because I have other stuff. I have episodes or I remember moments that I remember from the show. So I'll say here, right? So the whole Madison and Wong thing, I love that. I love Madison in this.
Hilarious.
Madison's so funny. And I want to see more Madison Wong moments in the Wong CU from here on out.
I love that it's the Wong CU. Yeah. I love it. I put him in everything. That is fucking hilarious. Like,
just have him show up and stuff, and also have Madison in the background, because
put him in Black Panther, put him in Quantumania, put him in Guardians 3. It'll fit. He's so good. He can fit in anything, and I'd believe it and be like, yes, Wong fits here.
And then you just see Madison behind him being like, my name's Madison with a Y, but it's not where you think. I want to see that shit, man. I think it'd be so funny.
Like fucking Wakanda's getting sieged by Namor. Wong and Abomination pull up. That'd be beautiful. That'd be beautiful. Where Wong's like, "What's up? I'm saving you guys," and they're like, "I don't think we've ever met you." And he's like, "Doesn't matter. I'm helping you out." And you're like, "Yeah."
It's hilarious. Also, there's another moment. The stuff with Megan Thee Stallion. Loved that. Loved it. That episode is hilarious.
That was one of those scenes where like people were bitching, and I'm like, that's what people about women throwing ass, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I remember like
we only like She-Hulk being objectified when it's a man writing it, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, like,
I'm like, I also feel like it was like an extension of the Megan Thee Stallion hate that people have for no goddamn reason.
Yeah.
That they don't like that she got shot by Tory Lanez. And they're like, actually, Tory was right. He didn't shoot anyone. And you're like, motherfucker, they have evidence.
They have evidence.
Like, grow up. Like,
there are police reports. Like, come on now.
It's like the only time I've seen someone shot and people victim blame the person who got shot.
Yeah, it's
it's the same thing with She-Hulk, where you're just like, bro, it's like she's having fun. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
why are you mad at this? It's an actual credit scene.
People were like raging on Twitter for like weeks. It's like, don't you have any other problems in your life to worry about?
That's what I'm saying. Where they're like, women are okay being objectified unless it's a man, and you're like, well, they're not even objective. It's just like, it's funny. It's a goofy. They're just doing a goofy dance.
Yeah,
like it's just a funny bit because Megan Thee Stallion was a plot point in the episode. Like,
and the thing is, like, I love that. I'm just going on. Like, I was one of my favorite episodes. I thought it was so funny having that fairy trick that man and thinking that he was dating Megan Thee Stallion.
And they had to prove that he was like a fucking idiot get him off by being like, no, that guy is actually dumb.
And I had people come up and be like, yeah, like that was just more men bashing. But I'm like, doesn't matter though. It's just a joke. Like it's just.
I don't think it's men bashing. I think it's bashing that one dude.
Yeah,
it's not like they're bashing Pug too.
Plus, like the thing is, like these are all like comically like evil strawman guys. Like, yeah, there's some guys like that, but like. They're clearly meant to be bad. If you're identifying with them, maybe that says something about you.
It's not like all the men in the show are evil. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like, yeah, Wong and Pug are also a part of that too. They're also good guys in the show too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like literally the entire Daredevil episode is about how good Daredevil is. And you're like, you got a whole episode where your boy was portrayed as like the pinnacle of men. Like, how can you not like enjoy the show at least for that?
But I remember throwback to when this episode came out, and then that we saw that part at the end, and then I literally text Seamus, "Oh, Seamus, bro, fucking, I never thought I'd see She-Hulk throw that ass back in my lifetime." We're like, yo, me and Deck were he was like, me and Deck were literally freaking out about it.
We're like, yes, it happened.
But yeah, I thought that was great. That like some of the comedy stuff, especially where they just went a little crazy, I thought it was so much fun. The intelligentsia stuff I thought was really well handled, especially what Seamus said just a bit ago. That a lot of the stuff that they use, especially like the tweets and stuff, were real tweets.
It was and I'm like, that's exactly how you do it. You don't even like write anything. You just put up screenshots of shit people have said about like the women in Marvel, and then that's your villain. And
like the whole King,
that's perfect.
Like the whole King meeting at the end, I was like, a lot of those conversations that those guys were having,
I was fucking so real. Dying. That was hilarious.
I was like, this is
so accurate.
I was like, I thought it was so well handled,
especially Pug trying to like fit in by saying like. It's just so misogynistic shit, and he can't do it because he's like, this stuff's really mean to say.
Yeah, it was so funny. I loved it, and also like I love how at the end we're like they do like Todd, like Hulk Todd, and maybe like how ridiculous that concept
is, how stupid it is, and I was like, yeah, that's funny. I don't mind them poking fun at how stupid it is that Todd got Hulk powers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought that was so much fun. Also the fourth wall breaks again. I thought in the first half a lot of they weren't really done. I wanted a little bit more fourth wall breaks.
It was like once an episode she'd turn to the camera and say something, and I would be like, all right. But I kind of was okay because at first I was like you, where I was like, I kind of wish it happened more. Yeah. And then when that big one happened in the last episode, I was like, okay, I'm kind of glad they held off on the first half.
Yeah, that's why I have this image up because that fourth wall break at the end, I loved it. I thought that was like, this is She-Hulk, bro. She literally does this shit, and she will go out of panels in comics. Like that's how much I loved it so much. Like also like the fact that like you see her on the Disney lot. Like it's just like he's on the Disney lot talking to the fucking writers. I lost it. And I think it was like when
I like how they have her sign an NDA before they beat the shit out of her.
Exactly. And also like I love how they did it where like the Disney Plus menu comes up. I was watching it on my big ass like 65-inch TV in my living room. I thought my Disney Plus broke. I was that naive. I actually fucking fell for it.
One of those dudes who was like, they broke it.
Yeah, I was like, did I do something? Like, what happened?
That one didn't get me. Some of the ones in WandaVision got me. That's only because I had bad internet.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, I loved it. And also the fact that Kevin Feige was a robot that was just like churning out content with like through like popularity to statistics. I loved it so much. I thought it was a lot of fun. And also just her going off, like being like, oh, like when are we gonna get the X-Men? And looking at it, I love that shit. I thought it was so much fun. I love that ending a lot. And also just like, but thing is like, I wish that, because like they were basically just because basically that ending was, I could see where they were going with it, where it's like being like, oh, like yeah, this entire concept for what we've been doing in the show hasn't really been the best. Like they were being a little bit bad on purpose. Like, but they didn't really plant any seeds in terms of that aspect. I would have liked them, have like her saying something like out of pocket and be like, why did I say that? Like as like a fourth wall break to like kind of like plant those seeds a little bit. But I thought that was a lot of fun. I loved that. Also, I just kind of thought it was just now the fact that like, okay, here's my own thing I have an issue with. The fact that a lot of people are being like, oh, like why is she like what's with her ego? Why is she like always like making things about her? when she because she it's her show. She
Isn't
stated
the show called She-Hulk, my guy?
Yeah, she stated in episode 1 that this is her show. She even does it. I just remember, like, she does it in the comics too. She always has to remind people in her own comics that it's her comic book. Like, it's
my name's on the title.
People who are watching this just for Daredevil every week and then getting mad when he's not in there.
I thought that was kind of funny that they teased it and then they didn't do it and they didn't even mention it at all. And I was like, that's kind of funny because they know they're fucking with people who are just here for Daredevil.
Exactly.
And then everyone was bitching like, I can't believe they made me watch She-Hulk like that many episodes. And I'm like, bro, you could have waited until you saw that they announced, hey, this is the episode where Daredevil's in it, and then watch that. But you chose to watch each episode, so that's on you, my guy.
yeah. But yeah, those are things I really like from it. For this, yeah.
I thought the only weird part of the fourth wall break was when they were talking about the VFX artists and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's ill. I was like, that's a little.
I thought it was kind of great because it'd be like, oh yeah, we got the VFX artists working on another project from Black Panther. I was like, let's go.
I just think a little bit about how it was too expensive and how they couldn't do some VFX, and I was like, oh.
And that they're like
it was literally like 2 weeks after there was all that news about how the VFX artists hate working for Marvel and shit. And I was like,
oh yeah, that's a little.
That's a little rough. I wouldn't do that, but I thought the plot criticism she had in the fourth wall break were really, that was really well done.
That was it was really good.
I was like, I feel comfortable laughing at that, but like the VFX ones, I was a little like, oh, but I don't know if I'd make a joke about that.
To get into the VFX just real quick, I honestly thought that like there are, I definitely, a lot of people were talking about how shitty the VFX are. There are moments where like the VFX do not look good, but like I can pick out a bunch of shots where like there are like she looks really well rendered.
I can pick out more moments where she looked good than moments where she looked bad.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is too, once you're like used to watching it, like your brain gets used to it, even if it's not perfect. Like you don't recognize the imperfections as often. That being said, like you said, there are some moments that stick out where it's like, oh, that doesn't look quite right, especially when it's like in really bright lighting.
Yeah, I mean, someone I knew was like, "Yo, it's like I was watching like, and like the VFX was so bad it reminded me of PS2 graphics." I'm like, "Nah, you're out. Stop it. You're out of
What PS2 was he playing on? I was not playing on that PS2.
You don't even game, bro. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you're playing on a PS2 that looks like that, you're not playing on PS2.
Yeah. I'm just like, you know
PS3 maybe.
PS3 maybe.
That gun said Xbox 360 maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, for a good amount of it, yeah, I thought the VFX were pretty well done. Like, and especially that first episode, like I thought she was extremely well rendered in that. I was like, what the hell? I was like, it looks really realistic, and I was like, okay, that's great. Even though the shot with the dress was good, but the way she walked, you could tell the rigging was a little off, and I was like, okay, okay, I'll get over it a little bit. But
I was just like, this is like a 2-second scene. I don't.
Yeah, I'll get over it. But all right. So moving on. Okay, this is now the segment. We always get Sheamus on the podcast. We always have to talk about Daredevil for like 2 hours. So I gotta talk about Daredevil now.
Let's go.
I didn't get a chance. So
we got a hallway scene,
dude. Okay,
we got a hallway scene.
Before you get into this, I just want to say I'm glad they kept his identity as a Catholic whore.
Yes.
Yes.
He was such a Catholic whore. He was such a slut. It was amazing.
Here's the thing, right? I loved him in this episode. As Sheamus said, I thought it was very well written. Matt Murdock, obviously seeing our boy come back was just Charlie Cox getting his bag, incredible. The fact that like they proved again in the first 10 minutes how good of a lawyer he is. He wiped the floor with Jen in court. It was hilarious.
He wiped the fucking. He literally was like, "Fuck you, I'm out." This court is gonna be over in 2 seconds.
But yeah, the thing is like when you see him and Jen interact, I love the fact that Matt is charming, funny, sensitive, and some sex appeal to him. Like I'm just like they made this man made him a little sexier in this one. I was like, oh shit, look at that. And also like the fact Sheamus here. I don't know if you'll agree with this or not. When I was watching this episode, just because obviously, like when you have a character who's a little bit more on the darker side, going to a lighter tone show, they have to fit the context of the show, right? I love this version of Daredevil a lot. It's more like it reminded me a lot of like the Mark Waid run where he's in the Devil at Bay arc, where he's in San Francisco, which is one of my favorite Daredevil runs. I wouldn't be mad if they did Born Again and they just did that run like of Daredevil.
I think he was so well written, and it felt like Daredevil. Where his comedy was Daredevil comedy, where he is sarcastic and like you know what I mean? Like his jokes weren't like, oh, I'm funny. It was him being a little bit of a smartass. And I'm like, that's exactly Daredevil. He says sarcastic shit sometimes.
He does.
It's
yeah.
like he sometimes, and that's the thing is, it doesn't happen frequently, but every once in a while he'll throw out a Spider-Man quip, and you'll be like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And that's why it's so funny because he like every once in a while is just like, "Oh, this, you know."
He's just a dark stoic man, but
yeah, he's a dark stoic man, but he's not like humorless like Batman, where he's like, "I can never make a joke. I'm never." Every once in a while he'll make one. You'd be like, "All right, that's a good one."
Yeah, but no.
I also like feel like people forgot that the Netflix Daredevil series there are like some funny bits in there, you know.
There's some humor there.
It's like half of it is comedy. He's like always joking around with Foggy and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, did you guys not watch the show? Did you only watch clips of the Daredevil Netflix show? Is that why
I only watched the hallway fights?
Yeah. I'm like, is that why I got canceled? Because you guys only watch clips, and then now you guys are like, well, he's not dark. Like, it's not like the Netflix show. And you're like, but it is.
This isn't Frank Miller's Daredevil.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is more comic book Daredevil than I feel like even the Netflix show was, which I like.
Gotcha. I mean,
actually, I like the Netflix show being for what it is, which is like a really good grounded Daredevil. I like this for being a little bit more of a comic book Daredevil.
Yeah, exactly.
It was way more like
even the way he moved, yeah, he was a lot more like the comics, and I was like, that's really
flips
good.
and dips and shit that I was like, oh, whoa, what the hell, Matt? Where did you learn that?
Yeah, I think it's like they did a good job of like making this more of like a more comic booky version of Daredevil. Have him have some of the jokes in there, but he's still intense. That hallway fight though was like, no, they're still reminding people.
They're
that,
setting it up. They're literally like, hey, this dude can still fuck people up.
Dude, that's why I grabbed this gift, bro. That's my favorite fucking shot in that fight, bro. When he did that whip.
They gave him the wires and shit. They gave him the ones with the wires, so you can do now all the comic covers where he's got the wires all around him and shit, like jumping around.
They can do the Joker Sada shit. They can do the Joker Sada shit. That'd be so cool. But yeah, I loved it, and also the fact that he's fucking fighting people and giving Jen lawyer advice at the same time. That's fucking Daredevil.
I was like, that's Daredevil. That's him. That's
but most importantly, with him coming back, what Rebecca said, they're reminding people that Daredevil fucks, bro.
He fucks. He fucks everyone.
Cool.
Wait, I love that like one tweet out there though that's like, this Daredevil fucks, and people are saying this isn't my Daredevil. Okay. then
you don't have a Daredevil then, because Daredevil fucks everyone in the comic. Remember that one fucking what was it? Brian Michael Bendis one where Daredevil died, and then this that one reporter goes around to all these people who knew Daredevil, and every time he shows up at a girl who knew Daredevils, there's always a kid who has suspiciously ginger hair in the background. Like he's had 8 kids, and it was like Black Widow, Elektra, and it was like Typhoid Mary, and there was always a suspiciously ginger kid in the background.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
so comic accurate, Brian. That's so like,
dude. I loved it. I love the fact like yo guys, Daredevil fucks. Like I think it's like it's he fucks strong women because he's been messing with Elektra, who's a crazy assassin lady, Black Widow, Typhoid Mary, who's also a crazy person.
Crazy lady. Crazy women.
I also like how they took the time to point out that he's also really good at fucking.
That was hilarious.
Dude, and
when he was walking, he's doing the walk of shame. Boots off.
I died.
Like, he's a whore.
We got him. Again, people complain about that too. I'm like, guys,
people were bitching about him being
so
a character,
angry, bro. And plus, he's enjoying his walk home. I'm like, come on, like he's enjoying his
whistling too. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I was like that's Daredevil. He totally do that shit.
Daredevil's such a hoe, bro. He should be putting an A on his chest instead of a D. That's how much of a hoe he is. Like, it's just listen. I loved it. And I also like the fact that like he came back towards the end as like a fun fourth wall.
Yeah. She-Hulk was like, "Can you bring back Matt Murdock? I really like that."
Yeah, and then she's like,
she just like me for real.
Yeah, and then it literally just like yeah. And listen, I'm a Hulk. We smash things, we smash buildings, cars, and even Matt Murdock. And I was like
yeah. Yes,
but
sir.
no, I just to close off with, and also like the yellow suit again. I did not expect them to pull it off this well, but they pulled it off really well. And I was like. And I hope they do the suit in Born Again too. I don't know if they're gonna change it, maybe more.
I think in Born Again they're gonna do. I think he's gonna get the red suit back. I think they're gonna do. I think they're doing Chip Zdarsky, Daredevil. I think they are. I've heard at least rumors that they're at least doing the Mayor Fisk storyline.
That would be.
And I'm like, listen,
I wouldn't cry.
Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil leads right into Mayor Fisk, and it's the most popular, like one of the most popular comic books of the last 5 years. And you know what I mean? Like, it makes all the sense in the world to just use that story arc or just adapt it. And I'm like, it also includes cameos from a shit ton of other Marvel heroes that they could do in the show. You know?
Yeah, so that would actually be a really good idea. I would be totally down for it. Yeah,
Foggy's an important character in it.
For people who haven't read that arc, bro, read that arc. It is.
I just read last week. I didn't read it. I hadn't read it yet, but I just read Devil's Reign, and I caught up on the new volume. Couple issues, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Devil's Reign was insane.
Yeah.
And then the new couple volumes where he's like leading the Fist and he's married to Elektra and shit. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's whew. But yeah, so just the closing thoughts with Daredevil, man. I'm so happy to get my boy back. The fact that he's kicking ass and fucking good for him, man. It's great. I can't wait to see more.
They freed my boy. They freed him.
And next thing we're gonna see is an Echo, so that's gonna be good. But yeah, so moving on. So let's see what I didn't really like. I only have 3 images for this, but one thing I didn't like, I don't like the fact that Jamila Jamil is kind of wasted in this show. Like I wanted more because I love Jamila Jamil, especially in The Good Place. She's great. I think she's a very talented actress, very talented comedian and comedic writer. I did not like the way they treated Titania. I want a little bit more from Titania. Because, like, the fact that, like, you know, she comes in and out on occasion, and then the only episode we see her in where we get, like, an actual, like, a showdown between her and She-Hulk, it's a fucking joke where she gets her fucking veneers knocked the fuck out of her mouth. Like, I was like, come on now. Like, this is it? Really? And then, like, she shows up out of nowhere towards the end. I'm just like, why was she here? I feel like if you were going to hype up Titania this much, why, and Jamila Jamil in the show, like, you should have at least made it substantial. She wasn't really in. She didn't do much in the show at all, and I was very disappointed by it. So, I mean, so that's number 1. Number 2 is that, I mean, in terms of like, no, that's it. I'm saying that for last, Seamus. I'm saying that for last.
I can't stop looking at it. You gotta get that screen.
Number 2. Sorry. Number 2 is the fact that like some of the writing in the show isn't the best, and especially in terms of like the lawyer stuff, because the writers admitted that like they didn't know how to write lawyer scene, which I'm like,
do you know what's crazy about that?
Yeah,
they have one of the writers for Better Call Saul on their staff.
So
what are they talking about?
That's embarrassing. Yes. That's embarrassing.
Like they were like, we don't know how to write a lawyer scene. I'm like, what about that? What about that person right there who wrote for Better Call Saul?
Yeah, and
I guess they were just there for moral support.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what were they doing there?
The thing is, and so like some of the lawyers, the lawyer stuff wasn't really that great, just because like it just wasn't convincing in terms of like the arguments and all that. I'm like, this is not really well written. And it's like,
I think they could have leaned into it a little more and still had it be like fun.
Yeah, exactly.
The only convincing one was when Daredevil came in and just fucking.
Exactly. I think it's like the one thing I agreed with when we talked about it on Zion is like, don't they have consultants? Like they hire consultants, right? For like when they need like a lawyer's perspective, or like how would they go at a case? They have consultants. Like Hollywood does that, right? Like I would assume. So why don't they?
I guess it's because they're doing like superhero law, so it's all like made up anyway.
Okay. Yeah. But like I don't know, like and also like there's some moments in the show where like some of the writing and the dialogue was very cheesy, and I was like, I don't know. It was
maybe the reason the Daredevil scene worked best is because it wasn't even superhero law; it was just consumer protection law.
Exactly,
and that's why it was probably better, because they were like, oh no, we actually have precedence for this.
Yeah, but yeah. So some of the writing in the show wasn't the best, so I'm just like, it's all right. That was really negative. The last one. So
Mikey got monkey pod,
dude. I
want to hear what you want to say before I respond to this. So go ahead.
Okay. The fact that I said, Seamus, didn't I say this right? When we saw Bruce leave to Sakaar, I was like, we're getting Scar, bro.
I knew we were getting Scar.
I said that as a joke because I didn't believe we were going to get the hood. And as a joke, I was like, okay, if we get the hood.
Yes, because I was joking about the hood. And then they were like, oh, the hood got cast in Ironheart. And I was like, Mikey, no way.
Yeah. Listen to me. and I'm just like, okay, then we said this. If they're going to make a hood be in the MCU, give me my Scar movie. Because I love Scar. They gave us Scar.
But
and not my Scar. This is not what I want.
Bro, he's on screen for 5 seconds.
I don't
What do
care.
you mean?
I
No,
don't
No,
care.
those 5 seconds, he had the most fucked up cut I've ever seen in my entire life. They
fucked up his
hairline up.
like,
Look at that thing.
You know nothing else about him other than his.
I don't care. If
haircut.
they don't fix that cut before his next appearance,
Dude, if they don't give him the long hair and the green glowing eyes, it's
that's what I'm
not
saying.
Scar.
He's supposed to look like he's like an emo like kid.
If
But
you
instead
notice,
they made him look like weird young
if you notice though, Seamus, he
Buffalo.
has the black tattoo. He has that tattoo. But like that's the only the thing is like my problem is I feel like they're not. I feel like they don't want to. I feel like my theory is they don't want to do Hulkling because Hulkling is a little bit confusing. Even though they already have the skulls and the Kree, they can just fucking do Hulkling if they wanted to. But to make it easier, they're just gonna have the new Hulkling just be the Hulk son and just have it just be scarred by name, but it's not.
I think I would become one of those dudes that's like the Mr. Immortal dudes. Actually, that would be the turning point for me. Is I'd be sitting there typing like,
yeah.
Listen, I can see what you're saying. I'm just saying we need to chill out for a little bit.
No, that cut alone.
Was already blasphemy. I was already done. Like, listen, man, we thought LeBron's hairline was bad, but like,
oh my god,
this man's hairline, bro.
Look, you can see his hairline isn't bad. But like they just cut it back, you know what I mean? Like he still has the buzz up front.
They shaved it to like
so he's got like a normal hairline, but like his hairline is fucked up. You know what I mean?
Listen, because like I'm happy that like that's what I want. I wanted Scar to be in the MCU, even though like I didn't expect it to happen, like the Hood. But
like when they had the leaked pictures of the Hood, I was like, wow, that looks like the Hood. And then when Scar came up, I was like, oh my god, Mikey's gonna be pissed. That doesn't look like Scar.
at least Seamus was satisfied. All right. I am not. This I don't know why can't they just do this? Why? It's not that difficult. It's not that hard.
Mikey, you're gonna eat your scraps and you're gonna like it.
We'll see. We're
gonna shove it down your throat and you're gonna have to suck it up.
Maybe he is an insane murderer, low key. We just haven't seen it yet.
Well, also, like I've never heard of the dude who they cast as
they revealed like the person they did like the face model, like the mocap for, who's just like some young actor who doesn't really have a name, but I don't know. But listen, man, I want this Scar. I hope we get this Scar. I don't want.
It's so funny though how like all my prayers were answered. Like I got the Hood. He looks like the Hood. He's played by Anthony Ramos. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like, that's perfect. God, listen to me. And then you were like, hey, can I also get Scar? And he was like, fuck you, Mikey. You're getting this and you're liking it.
I got shat on. And
it's okay. That's how I felt the year Lee got Venom and Shazam, and I got Birds of Prey.
Yeah, and that Cassie Kane. Oof.
I like Birds of Prey, but they did.
I like that movie, but I do have problems with it.
Yeah.
But for people, if you want me to give me your, even though we're doing recommendations at the end, if you want to give me a quick rec, Scar Son of Hulk low-key slaps. I don't care what anyone says. It slaps low-key. It's so just ridiculous and nonsensical, and I love it. But
how many issues is it again?
I think it's like
it slaps. It's like 3 issues.
Because the reason why I even know who Scar is, I got the first volume as a kid. I got it off the street in New York. So like,
you got it from the barbershop.
Yeah. Honestly, no, I think that's what it was.
They were selling it at the barbershop.
It was literally a dude on the side of the street, like in Midtown. And, like, it was near Midtown Comics actually. He was on the street just selling books, and like I got a Scar Son of Hulk comic, like the first volume. It's 17 issues, Seamus. 17 issues. So
it's way more than I thought it was gonna have.
Yeah.
It's like a year and a half.
Honestly, so
the Hood only got 6 issues for his first run.
Let's go. See, that's good.
Well,
shit.
Listen, the Hood was written by Brian K. Vaughan, so like.
Yeah, okay, you got me there.
I got you there.
But mine was written by Greg Pak. Greg Pak's dope.
I like Greg Pak actually.
But yeah, so that's basically my rundown of like what I didn't like about She-Hulk, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, any other closing thoughts on She-Hulk before we move on to our last topic?
Nah.
All right.
Nah, I think I've said everything I wanted to say about She-Hulk.
Yeah, man, just fucking his hairline, man. It's fucking.
You talk about the Hood at the end.
No. It's not your time, man. Not your time.
He's so cool.
I know.
Can we at least talk about how Sacha Baron Cohen is in the show now?
No. So Black Adam.
Mephisto, come on.
No, listen. We'll leave it in maybe at the end.
That's my recommendation.
But yeah, so obviously our last topic we're talking about another spoiler review for a new movie Black Adam, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Pierce Brosnan and Aldous Hodge and Noah Centineo and a lot of other motherfucking people. So let's go with this. What were your first impressions going into Black Adam before seeing it in theaters or wherever how you saw it?
Before seeing it, I said this didn't look like the worst Rock movie ever. And I said Dr. Fate looks cool, and I was right about both of those.
Yeah, right? Like, it was one of those movies where I looked at and I knew exactly what I was going to get, and then I came out of it and I got exactly what I thought I was going to get. Where it was like Venom 2 for me, where I went in, I knew what I was getting, I walked out happy because I was like, I got what I wanted. You know what I mean? I knew it was just going to be, it wasn't going to be some like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just going to be cool, fun fights in my face. Not a lot
Here's
of
the other thing, too. I saw this on the discount movie day, so I paid $5 for my ticket and $5 for like popcorn and a drink. So I was having a great time. I was like, I'll pay $10 to watch Black Adam.
I pulled up a little drunk to it, so I was also having a good time. I was like, I can't be completely sober watching Black Adam. I gotta be a little.
That's fair.
I enhanced the experience because I was just sitting there laughing. I was like, this is a fun movie.
I mean, here's the thing with me though with Black Adam, because I remember when this movie was announced like 15 years ago. And you know, it was in development hell.
It literally was like 15 years ago, too, which is hilarious. Like, you said that as like an exaggerated joke, but I think it literally was like 2007 or something.
No, I never forget. I saw an interview like of him being like talking about, hey, like, you know, they're saying, oh, The Rock's gonna be on a DC project. He's like, listen, man, I don't know, I'm not gonna get.
He was like announced before Green Lantern was made.
Yeah, and he was literally just like, listen, man, I'm not gonna tell you who I'm playing, but like, you know, once he says that word, shit's gonna get real. And I'm just like, he's talking about Black Adam, and next you know, like 20 years later,
we finally got it, and we got this after 20 years.
I mean, listen, man, I still was a strong advocate when they announced it at Fandom, being like, no one asked for this movie. Like, I didn't never ask for Black Adam to be in a solo film, ever.
Right. But I think I was like, I didn't like it until they were like, also, it's like a Justice Society movie.
Yeah, that got me. The moment they said that we're doing Justice Society, and I was like,
Justice Society got people in the door.
That got everyone in the door and it's so funny how that got everyone. Like, The Rock in his own movie can't carry it, but as soon as you're like Hawkman and Dr. Fate, everyone's like, oh,
yeah.
I'll be there.
It was like the moment they said
Dr. Fate's a bigger draw than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Actually,
but the moment they said that they got Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, I was like, sign me up. I'm done. Done. That's such good casting. Like,
and then as soon as they were like Noah Centino's Atom Smasher, I was immediately like, oh, I'm back to being weird about this movie.
I mean, I think it's like, for me, it was like Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. I was like, I'm not really a huge Hawkman guy, but like, listen, Aldous Hodge is a good actor. So like, I was like, you know what?
Him.
Yeah.
The thing
it made him look cool in this movie, which is something you don't usually see.
Don't really see.
I think the problem with this movie is that the thing is that they so obviously just read like the wikis for the characters.
Yeah, true.
like they were doing shit with the characters that I was like, I know that's not what the characters like, but like, I don't care that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, like when like the fact that Kent Nelson was just taking the helmet on and off willy nilly.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I was like, oh, you don't know, you either don't know or you don't give a shit. Yeah, and you know what? I don't really give a shit either, because like,
here's the thing though. I said in a previous podcast, in these times off screen, we need to go back to the 2000s style of superhero movies. This is that movie in every sense.
Yeah, but they didn't have a line about not wearing tights.
Too long to be a 2000s movie, but.
I think the reason they had him taking off his helmet is because they got Pierce Brosnan. They don't want Pierce Brosnan's fucking helmet the whole time. And I was like, all right. Or like when they were doing Hawkman stuff and they were talking about his backstory, and I was like, this is like you're combining like 3 different Hawkmen right now. I don't really know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Like, also, why is Hawkman the arbiter of not killing of all people?
Exactly.
I'm like, Hawkman is like the guy who would be like, yeah, go ahead, bro. I don't give a shit.
I mean, if you want to, let's go into like just characters or whatever real quick. I have like a bunch of other slides. But yeah,
it's the only part of the movie I think we should talk about is just the characters.
Yeah, because
like as soon as you get into the plot, you're like, I don't really.
Yeah, because one thing with the plot, it felt like just like it didn't really feel like there was something leading to it. It felt like stuff just kept happening.
Yes, that's why I'm saying.
Well, they kept having like exposition dumps, which is also why it reminded me of a 2000s movie.
Yes, where they just drop shit on you and be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Like
and then you'd be like, I'm not really here for the plot. I'm here to see these characters.
Like stuff just kept happening like throughout like the pacing was just like this happens and this happens, this happens. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with this. I don't really care much about the story anyway.
Yeah. So, at the point where they like stopped fighting like the JSA or whatever, I'm like, damn, we still got like another hour in this movie.
Yeah.
It did near the end. I started feeling the length a little bit. Near the end, I was a little like, you know what? They could have cut some of the shit from the movie, and I feel like it would have worked a little better because I just feel like this is one of those movies that would benefit from being like 90 minutes, just like a quick in and out. Like,
yeah,
you know
no, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, so we'll just get into like this character. So we'll start off obviously the man, the myth, the legend, Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing Black Adam. Here's the thing, right? I actually listen. I will applaud this man. I will applaud him.
He tried. He certainly tried.
You can actually you can actually tell like I actually were there times in the movie I was like, yeah, like he's actually like getting into the game.
He's doing his best to play against type. Yeah. And as much as I love The Rock, you know me, I'm a big wrestling fan. I love The Rock. I respect him for trying to do something different, but I think this showed everyone why he is typecast as the same character every time, because he plays that character so well. And when he tries to do something else, it just feels a little weird and a little wrong. Like he's trying to play the stoic, I'm not human guy. Like I talk different and I don't know what human customs are. And you're like, that is so against who The Rock is that this felt very weird. But like, I respect him for trying to do something different. And I feel like I hope in the next, if he shows up again, he plays it a little more like The Rock. Cause like, it just felt a little weird. I don't know.
He was definitely a little like restrained in the movie, but I think that also kind of works for it.
Yeah, no, I don't mind him being restrained. I just still thought it was like a little weird. To see him like, and the way he talks sometimes, you're like, what are you doing?
I thought it was so strange because like literally like there's literally like he talks in like that like Kandaki like language for like the first like beginning of the film, and then next thing he just suddenly just speaks English already. There's no explanation, and it's just like
all of a sudden he's like, I'm speaking English, baby.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I also thought like the backstory with this kid, I thought like, I don't know, I would have been more interested if they did the Black Adam backstory where he kills his nephew, you know what I mean? Or like kills his own son because he doesn't feel like he's able to use the power to protect correctly, you know what I mean? And it makes him more of like a villain but also like a hero because he's like, oh, he did do that evil thing but he's also helping other people out, and it's like a cool middle ground. But instead it was like more of like he's just a hero who kills, and I'm like, that's not really an, you know.
I think the like origin you were talking about is like a little too edgy, I guess, for what they were going for in this movie.
I mean,
but I thought, listen, all right, Rebecca, come on. You said you wanted 2000s superheroes.
I'm not saying I'm against
2000s edge right there. Let me tell you something. That's a total moment where they're like, we don't wear tights, and then put on leather and then start flexing and then like
I'm not saying I'm against the origin. I'm just saying they want to make him more likable in this versus
no, I know, but I'm saying for me it would be more interesting if he wasn't that likable and it was The Rock playing a character who wasn't likable a little bit. But like you see him turning, like he is learning and he does regret that mistake, but like, you know what I mean? But you're still like apprehensive because he did murder a kid. You know what I mean? But I thought that just would have added a layer to the movie that makes it more interesting rather than like it being
I like the origin though. I did
like the story with the son. I thought it was like
interesting because it made because they were going more the route of like he is like a hero that like no one really asked for. Well, he didn't let no one really ask for in a way because his son was the true hero of the true champion, not him. So he didn't feel worthy of that. So like it would have been cool if they didn't make him really sympathetical, but like I kind of like that in a way. It was a nice little twist that they tried to make us believe. Like, you know, I get it. Though.
I feel like if you saw the trailer for this, though, where he's constantly talking about his son, it would have ruined like any of those bits for you, though.
And
not that anyone's going into this movie for the plot, but you know,
I think if they changed it and they had like like the people he's protecting turn against him because he wasn't the chosen thing. You know what I mean? Like have that bit. That also would have been more interesting. And then when he fights the old king, like back in the day, he kind of uses his power a little farther than he should because he like doesn't really care about the people he's protecting because they didn't choose. They like started ostracizing him because he wasn't the champion or something like that.
Yeah.
Something more interesting than like he's kind of doesn't feel worthy, so he's like kind of a dick, and you're like, all right, I don't care.
I'll say this though, the action with Black Adam was fucking that for those first like 10 minutes are fucking crazy. I love it. We're just murdering fools.
I really enjoyed the beginning of this movie.
This movie looked good.
It looked good.
Really good.
And the
They
action
used
was
actual
really good.
sets. They used sets and shit. I was like, holy shit, they're not on like a blue screen. You know what I mean? Like they didn't put 2 rocks down and then blue screen the whole thing. I was like, oh shit. They're still
okay. But this will probably kill you, but take a shot every time they use slow-mo in this movie.
Oh yeah, that was
and
but you said
like it looks cool, but they used a lot of
superhero movies.
2000s, man. I love it. But the thing is, like, also the one thing that annoyed me though was that like, yeah, like the whole killing thing, they always had to acknowledge that like he kills people like every 10 minutes. And it's just like, come on, like
You're like, I just saw him do it. You don't have to tell me he did it. I watched him do it. He just lasered that dude until he was a skeleton. I got that.
Yeah, I thought it was so annoying. But listen, man, I overall I thought The Rock did a good job. I was like, listen, he's doing a solid job with this, and I can tell like he's actually getting in like more immersed into the role. So I was like,
my problem is like this is what he put out after like 15 years of knowing he was going to play this role. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was like, dude, you had like 15 years to like work on this, and it kind of feels like you just winged it in the moment rather than like actually like working on this shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's The Rock. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? But like just to me, I was like,
I guess be glad he didn't go into method acting for the 15 years it took to make
that would have been hilarious though. If he started actually murdering people and was like a method actor. Well, because who's gonna stop him from killing people?
That's true. No one. But yeah, I thought he did a good job for the most part. But yeah, we'll just move on to the next one. So the next set of characters, Hawkman and Dr. Fate, played by Aldous Hodge and Pierce Brosnan. Listen, man, I'll save Hawkman for a second because this is a Pierce Brosnan show. I loved him. I loved him. I loved him for, even though like I feel like he wasn't in it a lot. I don't know why. I feel like do you guys have that vibe? But like he wasn't in it as much. I don't know. I feel like the screen time was very small.
I didn't really get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess he didn't have as many lines as well, like Hawkman or something.
He was like the third most important character, I'd say, in the movie. Like he had like about as much screen time as that girl or whatever that was like following around Black Adam.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I really enjoyed Pierce Brosnan's performance as Kent Nelson, like the especially like the fact like his wisdom I thought was really interesting. The fact that he's the old man character. Dude, when you see him as Dr. Fate, it looks that does.
Oh my god!
I'll be honest, I don't care about the character as much as I care about him looking cool doing shit. You know?
No, I love things. I love Dr. Fate in the comics.
Me and Declan got so fucking hype at the end when they had the eyes open up when he held the fucking thing, and we're like, oh my god, dude, it looks so cool. And his powers look cool and shit. Dude, I just wish they had a little bit more Egyptian.
Yeah. Whoever designed this,
more like,
whoever did the concept art and like did the character design for this, I loved it.
Just had him straight up doing Injustice moves.
Dude,
he did that fucking Injustice like victory screen shit, and I was like, he's doing it.
I love the magic and stuff. I mean, I was upset when they killed him off because I was just like, God damn it! Like, let this man.
I legitimately thought this was gonna end with the kid like picking up the helmet or some shit.
Oh no!
If that kid picked up the helmet, I would have
rioted. I would have walked out.
If that kid got anywhere near being a superhero, I would have killed myself.
I would have turned my TV off and like destroyed my TV. Like, I wouldn't have. We'll talk about the kid later. But you know, I loved him in this. I want to see more of him in the future, but Kent Nelson's dead, so like I don't know.
I mean, what I told Declan is I'm like, they could just do Zatara.
They could.
They can just go the Young Justice route with it.
Cast Timothy Dalton as Zatara.
Or they could do Khalid, because I actually like Khalid as a character.
Khalid. You can do Khalid. I like Khalid.
Yeah, Khalid, who's the more recent Dr. Fate, who's related to Khalid. I think it's like Ken Nelson's like his great uncle, something like that. Yeah,
do Khalid.
Khalid would be so sick. Like I want to see.
I just want Zatara because then that means we get Zatanna.
That's true. But yeah, no,
I think Khalid would be good.
I thought Pierce Brosnan was great. I thought the design was incredible. I thought the VFX and the magic was so cool. I don't know. I loved it. There's that whole illusion he did where like he made him think that he was back in like BC Condor.
Oh yeah, and then he just came out and got fucking smacked. I was like, ooh, that was sick.
That was nice. But yeah. Any other thoughts on Dr. Fate? So I'll talk about Hawkman. Hawkman. All right, that's the thing what Seamus said earlier. Like they pretty much just read the wiki and just merged stuff together. Cause like
we got some porn bots in the chat right now.
Let's go.
We're popular enough for the porn bots. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
But yeah, man. I don't know. I thought Aldous Hodge did a good job of what he was given. I love the way Hawkman looked. I like the whole like was it like it looked like nanotech. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was weird because I'm just like I didn't know Hawkman could just like summon his mask like that. Like I don't know.
It was one of those things where I'm like fuck it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's Black Adam. Who cares?
Yeah, it's Black Adam. Who cares? He was good as that version of Hawkman. Like he was fun. I liked how I don't know what his life situation is, if he like is the reincarnation.
Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. Or if they're doing the alien shit. They didn't really. I assumed it was the reincarnation only because he had that Professor X mansion, and I assume he only got that because in every single one of his lives he got rich. You know what I mean?
But then you see the ship, and they explain like, oh yeah, it's made entirely of nth metal. And I'm just
nth metal, and then I was like, so he's the alien?
Alien, like what? And you see like there's like that Thanagar like hawk symbols like it's pretty much like plastered everywhere. So I'm like,
which is why I was like, they def read the wiki because they don't know what they don't know who the fuck the Hawkman is. They just saw Hawkman and were like, he looks sick as fuck, throw him in the movie. And I was like, whatever.
His action scenes are really cool, even though like again he was kind of a bitch. He was bitchy in terms of like him being like, oh, like don't kill. But I thought he was cool. I love how like he can that mace is so sick. That mace that turns like an axe and shit.
Well, when it started spinning and shit, I was like, why don't they do this shit more often in the comics? Like how that shit spinning.
Listen, doing Hawkman well is a low bar because before this, the only good Hawkman was like when he showed up in Smallville for the JSA episode.
Oh my god, yeah,
that was great. But then they tried doing Hawkman in Legends, and that was
Hawkman in Legends, and he showed up for like 3 episodes and then got killed by Vandal Savage, and then they were like, oh, he's dead. Yeah. And you're like, well, doesn't he reincarnate? And they're like, no.
That was but so this is by far one of the better versions of Hawkman in live action for sure. But yeah, I think Aldous did a good job.
At least we got Hawkman at all, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the Mr. Immortal thing again. I'm just like, it's Hawkman. I'm not gonna bitch too much about it. I am gonna point out that it's weird, but I'm not gonna be like.
And you see that outfit he was wearing in like the ship, and him like flying, like jumping off of like the cop, and like you'd be like, yeah, they watched Black Panther for sure.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool. I don't know, Rebecca, you have anything else you want to say on Hawkman at all, or nothing? No thoughts.
Not really. He looked cool. That's all I care about.
Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. Right. You're like, he looked cool. He did cool shit.
I'm curious to see like what if we get like Shiera and what she look like.
I hope they got to do her right because I feel like Hawkgirl's more important than Hawkman.
Yeah, people care more about Hawkgirl than Hawkman.
People give more. Yeah,
I only care about Hawkgirl because of the Justice League cartoon.
Exactly.
No one cares about Hawkman.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Justice League cartoon, I feel like has done so much work in like actually making those characters popular. Like I feel like if you didn't have that cartoon, people would not give a shit about the Justice League. Like our generation, I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
People would care. But like now we got people caring about Solomon Grundy and Hawkgirl purely because of that cartoon.
Exactly. So I don't know.
You're standing there like, "Where's Mongol?" And you're gonna be like, "Whoa." Without that cartoon, you would not be saying that shit. I guarantee you.
Oh my god, that's true. But I was curious. I don't know. I wonder maybe we'll see Hawkgirl in the future. I would love to see Hawkgirl. But yeah. So overall, these two characters were pretty solid. Even though I want my Dr. Fate spinoff. So moving on. So next two is Atom Smasher and Cyclone, played by Noah Centineo and Quintessa Swindell, which is like, your name is Quintessa. That's kind of baller. Whoever named you is did a good job.
That sounds like the name of someone who's named Cyclone.
Yeah.
Quintessa Swindell.
Yeah. That's already a superhero name.
That's a superhero name.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not really much to go off of. I mean, because like Noah, like basically like Atom Smasher was just like the youthful like comedic relief character who wasn't really that much of a comedic relief. He was cool. I loved the way his scenes were in terms of like his special with the VFX and all that. That looked really fun.
What fucking Henry Winkler's original?
I died. I thought it was so funny.
Beautiful.
I thought it was so funny.
Piece of casting they had.
For that, how many seconds of screen time he had?
Like 3 seconds on a fucking FaceTime call, but it was the greatest cameo I think I've ever seen in a comic book movie. Was they got Henry fucking Winkler as the original?
I was like, they got the fucking Fonz as the original Atom Smasher.
That's perfect casting.
Yeah, I thought it was fun, and I like the way he bounced off of like Hawkman and like Hawkman and Fate and Cyclone. I didn't like Noah Centineo before this and the stuff I've seen him in, but I thought he was really good in this. I thought he was funny, and he was like, he played kind of like the little like he didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, he was the rookie. He was the rookie basically.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, sure, he plays that role actually really well. I liked him.
Yeah, even like and also like the Atom Smasher suit looks very comics accurate. Even though I'm used to like the because of the animated series and like the comics, like the sleeveless look. I like that look a lot. But no, I thought he and listen, it's way better than the one they did in the Flash. So I mean
okay, but that was Edge was.
I know, I understand. It was Edge, but
listen, he's Ares now. You don't fuck with Edge anymore.
Okay, fair enough.
He's Ares and Percy Jackson. It's the greatest casting I've ever seen.
Wait, he is?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Edge is Ares and Percy Jackson. They cast him like 3 weeks ago or something. Isn't that phenomenal casting?
I'm actually tearing up. It's actually wow.
Isn't that phenomenal casting? Edge is the God of War. Who would have guessed?
Wow. Okay. But I thought Atom Smasher was he was a fun character. I want to see more of him in the future. Rebecca, do you have any thoughts on Atom Smasher at all?
Not really. He was there.
You a big Atom Smasher fan?
You an Atom Smasher fan?
He's up there with Mr. Immortal.
Yeah. I'll say this also, just to move on with Cyclone. I thought Cyclone was really cool. I love the way her powers look. I was
just about to say her powers look fucking sick.
Yeah,
I was like, I like how she's got like that whole like gymnast kind of thing going on.
Yeah,
her like outfit and with how she like uses her powers.
Yeah, it's like she got like a sorceress type vibe to her. I was like, this is sick. Like I love the way her powers look. I love her costume and like her just overall like aesthetic. Yeah, so good. She's so fine too, so that helps. But it's just like but also like I mean they established her as like a genius. I didn't really think they really showed that much in that aspect of her character and that much in this movie. I mean
they showed it a little, which is amazing. They showed that at all.
Yeah. So, but now I'll be like, yo, they actually made wind powers look very fucking cool and effective. Yeah. And like that's really cool. But yeah, she's the one who had the most slow-mo out of all the scenes though.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of have to though for that.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to see her. You don't need to see her doing that weird face as she like tries to impale Black Adam.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, I thought she was cool. I liked her dynamic with Atom Smasher a lot. I thought that was really fun. But yeah, no, I again, the fact that like I want to see more of these characters, like I want to see her again at some point because I think that would be really fun. But yeah, I thought
that's why I'm hoping James Gunn greenlights a JSA movie.
Mm-hmm. That'd be sick.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I thought they did a great job. I thought they did a great job on as the character. So, wait, any thoughts on Cyclone at all?
No.
Okay, going forward. All right, that's fine. All right, so we'll talk about I'll just say this real quick. I'm making a quick banner. Dislikes, right? Dislikes. I gotta go through. It's only 3 things, right? So Sabak, bro. Let's do that first. Sabak. I thought he was all right. I mean, He looked cool. I mean, there's some parts where he looked like
that's all he needed to be, really.
It looked like he was made in Blender though sometimes, but I mean,
we got our Injustice model here, but I think it looked It's fine. Nobody cares about Spock. So.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Again, it's Sabak.
Like they
If you're
try, like
bitching about Sabak,
like
maybe
they
look at yourself.
like I know, like they try to give him like lore. That's fine. Like I don't know much about Sabak in the comics, so like this is the first time I ever heard of him.
Nobody does.
within this
Nobody
movie.
cares.
So
That's what I'm saying. It's again just like Mr. Immortal and the West Coast Avengers.
yeah, that's why it's just
There's
like
only so many villains that matter, and putting anyone next to Black Adam, like nobody cares about his villains. I couldn't even tell you who his villains are if he
That's
has
true.
any. Who's not
Well,
Shazam?
no, Sabak isn't even. He's a Shazam villain.
he's a Shazam villain. Yeah, he's not even a Black
He's
Adam.
not even like a Black Adam villain. Like he's supposed to be the dark version of Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but because like Shazam is all the gods, Sabak is all the demons,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it's
Okay.
supposed to be the opposite. But instead, they're like, fuck it, he'll fight Black Adam.
Yeah. Also, and it sucks because that actor, man, that actor, I forget his name, but he was Jafar in the Aladdin live action movie, and he was in like the Old Guard, and I loved him in the Old Guard. So, I don't know. It's
I don't
whatever.
know. I feel like I liked. The only Sabak I know is the one from the Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, New 52 run,
Mhm.
where Sabak was what all the 7 deadly sins combined into.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, that would have been cool in the first Shazam movie instead of doing this weird, like, he put on a crown and now he's God shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it'd be cool if at the end of the first Shazam, they all like combined together instead of having what's his name as like the villain. I don't even remember the villain of fucking Shazam.
Shit.
Was it what's his name?
Dr. Savannah.
Savannah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't mind Savannah, but like they made him into like a superhero or like a power dude, and I'm like, he's not like a power dude. He's like
not
look,
a power dude
man,
at all.
maybe use Sabak instead. Like
Yeah, but I thought Sabak was all right, but I mean, granted, it's like a 2000s movie type of vibe. Like he doesn't really matter.
Villain's never gonna have any like lines or anything in the 2000s movie.
Gotcha.
The only villain who had lines in the 2000s movie, it was 2. It was just Green Goblin and Magneto, and that was
Magneto.
Everyone else was just like,
Yeah.
I wish Harry Osborn didn't have lines in the third one. I wish him and Venom. I know. I actually don't wish. I like Venom's lines because they're goofy as fuck.
Oh,
if you know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I it's whatever. But man,
I
moving
should have
on.
had Sabak do Venom lines, like Topher Grace Venom lines.
My spider sense is tingling. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
just Sabak. Hilarious.
If they made Sabak like that, I'd have some respect for it because I'd be like, that is so unhinged. I love it. Like he's a demon, but he's like a weird little bitchy demon that like just likes to fuck with you instead of like being like, I'm the devil, I'm gonna beat you up. Instead, he's like, I'm gonna kill a kid. You know what I mean? You're
Oh
like,
my god, that'd be so funny.
Oh.
I mean, but lastly, I mean, on Adriana Tomas, played by Sarah Shahi, she wasn't really needed. I didn't think she was needed in this movie at all. Her and
her kid,
bruh.
I didn't give a shit.
I'll say this right now. Amon is probably one of the worst like characters and like child characters I've ever fucking seen.
It was like if you took all the charm out of Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
and you just had this annoying kid who kept following you around.
Like I know, like
shut the fuck up.
I know.
I was like dying though when they showed him like skateboarding every scene.
Every scene.
He skateboarded for those 2 seconds down that fucking stairwell and then got off it to run down the stairs. And I'm like, bro, you got there faster if you just ran instead of skateboarding down every corridor.
Honestly, and then it's like, and they had to remind us how much of a nerd he is. Yeah, like they literally had to like remind us how much of a like a superhero fan he was with like every single like DC product placement in his room. It was.
Why did he have? So is the Snyder Cut real in the fucking universe? What's going on?
Bro. I don't know what's
he
going
had a
on.
Snyder Cut poster.
I saw some New 52 issues. I saw some.
It doesn't
reboot
matter.
issues.
You're watching Black Adam. Don't think about it.
The thing is like, but nah, my problem with this kid, and thing is like Rebecca, like I know you hate Cassie, like I think this is my Cassandra Cain because I thought he was.
I don't hate her. I was just disappointed.
I was sad and disappointed.
Okay. He was the most annoying fucking kid I've ever. every single scene he tried to get himself killed at least once. It was like he was asking to die.
Can we just move on and fucking the end credit scene, please? I can't talk.
This
kid is gonna kill me.
I hate it.
I have
so much. But
listen,
yeah. So,
God bless the actor. God bless him.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. He's getting a bag. Good for him.
I hope he got a payday.
It's just.
Please don't have him in the next one. I'm
good. And the thing is, because like James in the comics, isn't Adriana like Isis, and then he is like Osiris, like I think pre New 52.
Yeah.
Continuity? Yeah.
Which is interesting, but they're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Or they did. That would have been kind of funny.
It'd be cool if they did, and it was like, oh wow, they're two of the gods that gave him. You know what I mean? They're a part of his power set. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Or like, they were alive when he was alive, so that's why they're trying to help him.
They pull a first Shazam and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna give these two fuckers some of my powers now. So that'd have been hilarious.
I just want to talk about the increase.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. Is the last thing I got. So yeah, done with that bullshit. But last thing we'll talk about is Superman shows up at the end of the post-credit scene. He looked so good. I was like, because I only saw this photo, I didn't actually see like the post-credit scene. So I watched the movie.
He had the curl.
He had the curl, the S, the S.
He had the yellow.
It had a lot more yellow. And I was like, this is
all we need left is the underwear, and then we got it.
Dude, I thought he looked so good. And also, like, Black Adam at the end of the movie got the Black Adam, like,
he got the fit. And I was like,
that's sick. Like,
Wow. I liked the final outfit he had that was like Black Adam. And I was like, oh, wow, that's way better than the first one they had.
Yeah.
And then it made me like the first one more because I'm like, oh, cool. That's like one where he's been locked up for years and his power isn't really back yet. Yeah, and then when he says the word, his powers fully come back. And I was like, oh. But anyway, Superman, this was like my Christmas for me. This was like, I was like, oh.
This was the redemption from San Diego Comic-Con,
Again, I have to preface this every fucking time. I think Zack Snyder is the sweetest man alive. Mm-hmm. He's always the nicest man. Every interview, he's the nicest man. Mm-hmm. I just don't agree with the Superman. I just don't agree with the way he writes Superman.
Zack Snyder, I hear he's really nice, and he seems nice, and then he also just says some shit sometimes. I'm like, I was rooting for you,
Right? Yeah. Like every once in a while, you're just like, oh, bro, oh, come on.
You're so close.
Come on.
When he bragged that his Batman killed.
Yeah. When he was like, my Batman kills, and you're like, oh, come on, dude. You were right there. You're so nice, but like
when this Batman mows down other cars,
I know, and you're like, dude, you
when this Batman,
such a big comic book fan, I'm just like, that's not how that is.
Yeah,
and that your Batman is like not Batman if he kills that many people.
When his Batman doesn't bat an eye when he literally bounces a grenade back at an enemy,
right? And you're just like, I've read interviews. You're a nice dude. Why can't you just stop adapting only Frank Miller comic books?
Yeah, I mean,
for the love of God, pick someone else.
I've always respected him as a filmmaker and as like in terms of like as a creative, but like sometimes
I think as a director, he visually makes shit look so interesting.
Yeah,
and he is very good at making stuff look cool. But as soon as he starts writing stuff, he just fundamentally misses the point of each character. And Lord knows how he misses the point of so many characters, but he does. Mm-hmm. And again, I keep having to say it. As nice as he is, he just doesn't get Superman and Batman.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he said on record too that he doesn't really like the normal superhero comics.
Yes, he likes like, dude. You're adapting Frank Miller, and your interviews sound like Alan Moore. This is just a recipe for me hating your fucking movies.
At least adapt the good Alan Moore superhero.
That's what I'm saying. At least do Alan Moore. Just fucking do Swamp Thing, and just be like, you know what I mean? Like, if you like those characters and those writers, there are good comic books to adapt.
Good, the end of Superman part.
Alan Moore had one good Superman story, and it was for the man who has everything, and that was it.
Yeah, but
that, please.
Listen, man, I'm happy that Henry Cavill's back. He looks fantastic.
He looks fantastic, and he's like Henry Cavill's actually excited to be
back. Yeah,
and you're like,
I saw his IG post. I think it was on his IG.
Yes.
And he looks so excited and so happy, and
and I'm like, yeah, he's
The thing is, like, that now that James Gunn is head of DC, not saying that like I want to do a Superman movie, but like I'm happy. I'm looking forward to seeing like this type of Superman under his leadership.
Right.
You know?
I feel like we're finally gonna get a real Superman movie, which I don't think we have gotten since Christopher Reeve. If I'm being honest with you, I love Brandon Routh. That's not really a Superman movie. That's like I'm sad for 90% of the movie, and then at the end I'm kind of Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's like Superman Returns or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie. It's actually
I forgot about that movie until you said.
I watched it recently and I was like, holy shit, Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor.
Dude, yeah.
I forgot about that. And I was like, holy shit.
When this man had to get his fortune back by like marrying an old dying woman.
Oh yeah. You see, it was just such a weird movie.
Yeah.
And it was just I was like, this is not a Superman movie. This is like some weird, like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's because Bryan Singer did it, so that's why.
Oh yeah. And in doing that, he also fucked up X-Men 3 because he left and then they had to redo X-Men 3, which is why that sucked. Yeah. So he fucked up two like franchises at once. And then then it came out. Wasn't he the one who was like the child molester?
Yeah.
And he's also a child molester. So
I didn't know that.
It was like well known for a while, and I was shocked because all of these producers were like, "Yeah, it was well known. I don't know why it didn't come out earlier." And I was like, "What the fuck do you mean?
What do you mean, bro?"
But you're talking about Bryan Singer, right?
I'm like 90% sure it's Bryan. I'm gonna look up his face.
I know we also just mentioned Kevin Spacey, so I just want to make sure we're talking about the right child.
It's 100% Bryan Singer. It's Bryan Singer.
It was well.
So they had two kid diddlers on that movie, which is why I don't. And then they had sweet ass Brandon Routh and another nicest man on earth.
Yeah, man.
But that's why I'm saying I hope to God that this Superman movie is like just do a Superman movie.
Yeah,
it's so easy. It's so easy to do a Superman movie.
Because I'm aware that Man of Steel 2 is coming. It's confirmed. Like Henry Cavill practically confirmed it, right? Like is that true?
Yeah. He was basically there is another Superman movie coming. That is like the confirmed thing.
Okay, great. So because I don't
know if it's gonna be called Man of Steel 2 or if it's gonna be the same. I know it'll probably be in the same.
I would love it. Okay, hear me out. I would love it if they just called it Man of Tomorrow.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Man of Steel and then Man of Tomorrow would be like a cool.
Yeah. That's like a follow-up title.
And then the last one you call The American Way.
But
subtitle.
No, because
it's really political and really uncomfortable.
But yeah, so like that's coming out. Like I'm assuming, because like I know J.J. Abrams was trying to do Superman stuff. I guess that's probably axed at this point.
Please stop.
I know like
don't say J.J. Abrams.
Because I know like the Miles, and then also like Michael B. Jordan was gonna do a Superman thing like Val Zod, I think.
Michael B. Jordan, yes.
And like I hope they still do that. That would be cool. I want to see Val Zod. Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan's a good filmmaker.
Yeah.
He looks sick. Fuck it.
Yeah. I wanna.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know.
But yeah,
just don't do J.J. Abrams or Zack Snyder, please.
That'd be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this Superman for sure. Like, and I'm happy that Cavill's back.
This is why I'm saying I have full faith in James Gunn because I feel like he will be able to pick someone who knows how to do a Superman movie. You know what I mean? He'll be able to be like, I feel, you know what I mean? Like he'll be able to pick a director, a writer who's like, you guys know how to do a Superman movie. I feel.
Yeah.
And Henry Cavill knows how to play Superman.
He does.
He knows. He just keeps giving.
Even though people are like, like even though Zack Snyder had his own vision for Superman, like Henry Cavill, I know, like there are moments where he plays Superman and Clark Kent really fucking well.
And you're like, oh, he's so good, and then Zack Snyder's like, actually, you have to do this, and then you're like, no, Henry,
actually, you're Jesus.
I know you're trapped. It's the same thing with like Witcher, where you're like, I know this dude knows how to play Geralt. I know he loves Geralt, but this man is trapped in a box of terrible writing by people who actively hate Geralt. And you're like, no, Henry, get out of it. And every once in a while, you'll see a glimmer where he like plays Geralt like Geralt, and you're like, yes, he's breaking free.
Oh my god. Okay, but James, since you're the main advocate, like you're the big Henry Cavill's back Superman fan, right?
Yeah.
Who would you want to direct this? If they make a Man of Steel 2 happening, who do you prefer to direct this movie? You don't have anyone in mind?
I feel like let me look at the list. I got a list.
A list. Rebecca, do you have anything you want to say on Cavill being back, or anything involving Superman or anything like that? Or just the interaction in the movie, or?
I can't believe they got. Well, I know he loves playing him, but I can't believe they got Henry Cavill back after all that bullshit with the Snyder Cut and all that. So if he gets a decent movie out of this, I'll be happy for him.
Do you want a curveball? Do you want a curveball pick? Do you want a crazy pick?
Sure.
Barry Jenkins.
Barry Jenkins. What's
he directed Moonlight.
Moonlight?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
I feel like because I think he is extremely talented at telling extremely human stories.
Oh, 100%. Moonlight's incredible.
I feel like that's what Superman needs, because Superman is like an extremely human character, and that's the entire point of Superman. You know what I mean? And I feel like he would be talented enough to make a movie about someone who is extreme at their heart is like an extremely human person. And I just feel like he would be able to take that character and take it in a direction that really fits with what Superman is, despite maybe being slightly different than what you consider like a Superman story to be.
Yeah.
I just feel like he is talented enough to be able to do that. And it'd be really interesting to see a Barry Jenkins superhero movie. That just sounds interesting to me.
Gotcha. No, that's actually a really good choice, and I explained because Moonlight was one I love that film, and
Moonlight's great, and it's a very human story that also is like, you know what I mean. And I feel like if he just would, it would just be really interesting to see him do Michael B. Jordan. Well, Michael B. Jordan's already doing Valzon.
Give me Superman.
Go to sleep, sick man.
Yeah, you're getting delirious, boy.
He's getting delirious.
Yeah.
But if Beale Street Could Talk was also a great film.
Mm-hmm.
That was like about just, you know what I mean? Like, and he's able to do darker stories in a way that like doesn't feel like it's being edgy or like, ugh. Yeah. And I feel like Superman dealing with darker stuff can work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it would just be a really interesting character story, and he'd be focused more on the characters rather than like, I don't know, going and feel, you know what I mean? I just feel like it was Superman. I don't want like a connected universe or like we're referencing. I just want like
thing too. Anything Superman, like he's going to win because he's Superman. So you might as well not focus on the plot as much.
Exactly. It's he's going to win. So let's not have it be about him winning, but more about an internal struggle, focusing on like who he is as a person and how he interacts with the world while being Superman. And I feel like Barry Jenkins, having seen Moonlight and Beale Street, can do that kind of story really well. Mm-hmm. About like someone surviving in the world. They're trying to like find themselves in the world.
That's actually, I really like that idea.
Right? At first when you hear it, you're like, what? And then when you explain it, you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like doing a character-driven story for Superman is what the best Superman stories have come out of. Is like, I'm going to focus on the character instead of like him punching Lex Luthor. Because like that's never been the point with Lex Luthor. It's always like more of a character battle of like these two different dudes.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, listen, he's back. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know why I had a random thought being like, yo, I feel like James Gunn would be the type to give me Steel, and that's when I'd actually cry.
James Gunn Steel.
not like just James Gunn. Like
bring back Shaq, goddammit.
Fuck off. No. I always reference this.
James Gunn would absolutely bring Shaq back for a Steel cameo.
He would. I think it's like I will never. Every time, because fucking Lee, shout out to Lee. He always mentioned this. Like every time he mentions Steel, and I remember telling him I hate this. Here's why I hate the Steel movie so much. When they literally have this man throw like a piece of trash into a trash can and miss, and he's like, I couldn't make those free throws. I could never make those free throws. I hate it. Okay, disgusting. But yeah, I feel like James Gunn would be like, let's have Steel have his own movie or something. I would with that.
I feel like if you want a saver choice, Steven Spielberg Superman would be cool.
Steven Spielberg, okay,
that'd be cool. If you want to do more of like an adventure Superman, where he's more of like him going on like an outer space adventure, that'd be cool.
There's not too many directors off the top of my head who I can think of who can do like uplifting, not too high stakes action,
Yeah, I can't really think of that many directors either.
Henry Cavill Superman.
I'm honestly, I'm kind of on that Barry Jenkins copium now. I think that's actually really good.
I've convinced you.
Yeah.
Someone turned around to me and said, "The guy who played Aragorn as Superman." Fucking God.
Take your antibiotics, boy, please.
Oh, Henry Cavill's back, bro.
Seamus, just put him down at this point. He's a lost cause.
I'm gonna just cover his face with the pillow. He tried to do that to me the other night. He tried to pillow face me while I was asleep. No.
Oh my God. But yeah, so
Phillies are tied, by the way.
Yeah.
They brought it back.
World Series, baby.
Let's go.
Oh my God. But that's basically it for the topics. We're just going through like recommendations real quick. I got something to recommend real quick. Because I literally read this today. And actually Seamus kind of mentioned it earlier, but yeah, Daredevil #4 by Chip Zdarsky is so good. I'm loving this new direction with this new volume that's going on with the whole like the Red Fist arc that's going on.
I kind of get why they renumbered it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's very way different than what the first volume was.
Yeah, if you like, again, if you like, good Matt Murdock shit, if you like good like hand stuff, like there's really good hand stuff in here.
If you like the ninja shit that Matt does, then this is more for you. If you like the street level shit, then the first volume's more for you. Probably.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's like, especially because you have Daredevil, because ever since they made Elektra Daredevil, I've loved it.
Dude,
I've been having so much fun with it.
I don't know what the fuck they were on when they designed her fucking outfit, but it is the best redesign I've ever seen.
It's one of the best legacy. It's one of the best like legacy character outfits. Like I think it's just as good as just as good as like Miles Morales.
It's as good as Miles. It's as good as Sam Wilson Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
It's on that level of like, wow, this could this might be like my favorite more so than the original.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so good. And the thing is, like, yeah, like, I think as Seamus said earlier, like, yeah, there's a little bit of an interesting wedding in this, and it's so good. And also the fact that like the stuff with the hand and stuff is awesome. Stuff like that, because like right now, because Frank Castle's a part of the hand right now.
Frank Castle's leading the hand.
He's leading the hand.
And I'm like, that's so genius. He now has an army of people to just murder anyone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but yeah.
That confrontation is going to be fucking insane.
I can't wait. It's going to be fucking
God.
ridiculous. But
we're gonna get like the Netflix rooftop scene again, I think, in comic book form.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, listen. So that's my recommendation for this podcast is Daredevil just the Daredevil #4 by Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto. Just this arc so far, it's phenomenal. But yeah,
what are they gonna do with that? His lawyer friend. What the hell was that? Where his lawyer friend was just like, by the way, I'm God. I've orchestrated everything in your life. Bye. And he dips in the first issue, and you're like, wait.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like,
it's gonna have a big payoff. It's gonna have a big payoff, though, I'm sure.
Also, if you like Daredevil Spider-Man, there's a really nice scene in the first issue with Daredevil and Spider-Man that made me cry a little bit. That was very nice and sweet because they're buds again.
Yeah, they're friends again.
When Matt like takes off his mask and you're like, we're best friends. I'm best friends with everyone. I love it.
Oh my god! But yeah, that's my recommendation. Does anyone have? I don't recommend. You said you don't, but Seamus, you have anything you want to recommend? Anything you have been watching, reading?
Watch Andor. Andor's been really good.
I've not watched it yet. So.
I started to watch it, but I couldn't watch it while I was working because there was like too much going on. I need to sit down and like watch that one.
I plan on rewatching Rogue One first because I haven't watched a movie in a long time. So like I'm gonna watch that first and then go through.
Well, I mean, Andor's 2 seasons of like 12 episodes, so.
Oh, okay. It's also a prequel, so you're probably not missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably the best Star Wars thing in like 10 years, I think. Maybe since Clone Wars, the animated series.
Because what drew me to it, it was more like it was a grounded story.
It's been incredible. I'm on episode 3, and it's already incredible. And I hear episode 6 is like the best episode so far, so I'm excited to watch that. Chainsaw Man has been insane.
I gotta watch it. It's on the Hulu list. It's on the Hulu list. Just chilling there.
Crazy. It's exactly the adaptation. I wish. Bleach has also been insane after fucking 10 years of not having anything.
Mhm.
And it's the animation is like movie level quality for
Mhm.
every episode.
Wow.
It's like they've been working on it for like 5 years straight, just animating it, and I'm like, it looks insane. Read Daredevil again. I'm gonna co-sign the Daredevil shout out.
Yeah.
It's so good. Read
So
Devil's
good.
Reign too.
It's the best. Like Zdarsky's Daredevil has been the best Daredevil I've read in like fucking 10 years. It is ridiculous.
Read anything written by Chip Zdarsky if we're being real.
Yeah.
It's all good. Read his Batman whenever that. I don't know if that's out yet or not.
I haven't read it yet, but
I think isn't it? I feel like it's November, right? Like it starts in November.
It might be. It might be coming up soon. I think.
I gotta
check the solicits.
Read that. Read Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah.
Watch
okay.
it.
All right. I'll also say this again, just real quick. Also, if you haven't already, watch C. C season 3 is ridiculous. I don't know.
Watch C. They got Batista versus Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it's if people haven't watched because C's on its final season and so far
it's like if there's an entire show that was just Daredevil fights.
Yeah, it's if you haven't watched it, haven't watched the season, or if you're caught up, like watch this show, please. It's so good, and I'm just like, it's good stuff. But so Daredevil and C season 3, or just C in general, just watch that shit. But yeah, so that's basically it, people. So I'll just close it out. So thanks for everyone who have been watching this, and some people have been chipping in and watching. I've seen it or will watch this. We appreciate it. Listen, we check out some of the other videos on the channel. You know, we're doing some Transformers stuff, and the Transformers been doing insanely well. I didn't think people love Transformers this much, but it's been working out for us, so we appreciate it. Also, we'll be checking out some of the clips. I know recently we did one with Matt talking about how much he loves about Man-Thing, and listen, people, it make him feel better about himself being like one out of like 7 Man-Thing fans. We need more views for that one, so like just watch more. And yeah, same as
I'm number 2.
Yeah. So yeah, check out some of the clips we dropped. Also, we really appreciate it. Also, check out the spooky special we did covering the book Infidel, which was a lot of fun, and we did last minute costumes for that. So that was a good time. And also, there might be should I tease Rebecca? That's the interview that we might have.
You get on the schedule. You can tease it.
Yeah, since if you've watched the Infidel podcast, and obviously the writer, again, I don't want to butcher his name, Pornsock Pinkashot, I think that's how you say his name. Yeah, we landed an interview with him, so he's gonna be our first interview on the channel.
I hope you know how to pronounce his name. By the time
I will figure it out. That's
gonna be real awkward. Sorry.
I know. I'll figure it out before we do it. But yeah, he's doing the Sandman book. So that's why he wants to get on to promote it. Yeah. So
listen, if he wants to promote Sandman, that's all good with me.
Yeah,
I'll promote Sandman for him.
Gotcha. So yeah, we're having that interview in the next 2 weeks, so look out for that. Also check out the Sex Criminal series. We're gonna probably be doing episode 2 in the next 2 weeks. So but yeah, that's gonna be that's I can't wait for that. I've been looking forward to it. It's the first one. But yeah, and also so yeah, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Is it Black Panther in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Black Panther's also coming up, so we're probably gonna have to do an After Dark for that. So yeah, so that's gonna happen at some point. Also, yeah, click the bell. We have a bell, so you're notified of when we drop all of our videos, and stay up on that. Yeah, so that's basically it. So as always, people, get home safe, have a good one. Have a good night's sleep, all that stuff, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, peace out.